on shouting this guy out.
Um,
I have started streaming. For the love of God, if my audio is fucked up, please say something now. Say it now.
yeah, now before we're 10 minutes into this thing.
Was it that long into the other episode?
I don't know. It felt like a while.
Just
And,
shows.
and to be honest, in fairness to the people in the cantina, they did say something before I stopped you, but you were in a flow of stuff. So I'm like, all right, let me just wait till we get a natural opening.
Yeah, I haven't even had a chance to listen back to it yet. So.
I don't know why I was listening to it.
Yeah. Oh fuck! I didn't even get to post it until last night, and that was my. That's one of the things in my my week.
Yeah.
Where the fuck is everybody?
Hey, I even put something out in the cantina.
Yeah. I have to remember to shout out Ben. He's been looking for a shout out for a couple of weeks now.
Mm.
What am I doing? Oh yeah, I was gonna go on and like the video.
Yes, God.
Actually, no.
I've been wanting to drink all week.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna drink today because I've been clean all week.
I think one day a week we can imbibe.
Yeah, and that's kind of the plan. And I'm just it's been such a long fucking week, such a long weekend. I just fuck it.
I'm right there with you, man.
All right, I'm already putting in my next order. Man, the Jensens must be out watching the XFL. Too busy to tune in.
Man, fuck the XFL.
I actually would have tuned in this weekend if I wasn't working. Just out of curiosity, if nothing else. I will like the video. Dave is just gonna hum the whole soundtrack.
Yeah. Oh man, I've been listening to John Williams nonstop since about 8:00 this morning.
Yeah.
So. And I was playing Battlefront 2 last night.
Oh, nice.
Which I'll talk about in my week.
All right. Man.
Yeah, so we're doing the 2 episodes of the Clone Wars.
Yes.
You know what's fucking ironic? I may or may not have watched the second part of our Clone Wars review from last week.
Oh, from last week.
Last week.
Okay,
right?
I thought you were about to tell me you haven't watched this one either.
No.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, let me put this on.
Thank you.
So I'm like, let me put this on.
Mm-hmm.
And in between, I just finished some shit I had to turn in for my research class. So I'm like, okay, let me submit this and let me try and have a brain wipe before I get back into fucking calculus mode.
Mm-hmm.
And I turn it on. I'm like, oh fuck, I've seen these. So apparently, what had happened was Nick had put them on at the office, and I was adamant about not wanting to fucking watch anything that wasn't worth watching. Right. So he immediately went to the mall episodes. So those other ones, the Umbara ones,
what's up, Luna Girl?
I didn't see.
Yeah.
So this one I did see.
Okay. All right.
But I watched them again anyway.
Yeah.
Because it's
I do want to go back and listen to last week's episode because I was pretty intoxicated by the end, so I don't really remember everything that was said. And then B, I want to see how well you actually covered up the not seeing some of those episodes.
I'm willing to bet you that nobody knew.
All right.
Besides you and probably Nick.
Well, shit, you almost had me convinced, and I knew you didn't watch them, so.
The beauty of actually having Wikipedia up while we're all looking at it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man. What would Lando say at a time like this?
It's a dynamite taste.
All right.
Actually, Lando's Palace is what I was listening to in the car.
Yeah.
In here.
Nice. All right. I can't think of anything else. It's I just realized the toast that I have. I think I've done this as a toast before. I think it's been a couple years, but I think I did it already. But it's for a new reason. Wait, what? Where's the new? Come on, you fucking fuck. Sorry, this is the preamble to the actual episode of the podcast.
Obviously.
So, yeah, this is the bonus material that you don't get on the audio portion of the show. This is the behind the scenes, the window.
Yeah.
Into...
Honestly, this is a sound check. Is really what it
Yes.
needs to be. This is the fucking sound check.
Yes.
Make sure the shit sounds good before we start.
Yes.
Before we start.
Yes.
Nice. See, the escape pod needs to come out just like what's the doctor's name in The Simpsons?
Oh, Dr. Nick.
Dr. Nick.
Ah, yeah,
hello, everybody.
Is my Wi-Fi not working? Like,
it's working good for me.
Oh, okay, because I'm not on the fucking network. It's not showing up as available networks. Oh, there it is. Had to refresh.
It's because you don't update any of your iOSs.
Well, that is fact, because then it bricks your machine and it's useless. All right, got my notes up. I should pee before we start.
If you feel the need, then...
Yeah, let me do this real quick, and then we'll get started.
We've got time.
I always say this, but it should be a short episode today.
Bullshit. So what was I supposed... There was something, I'm pretty sure Bronco Fed had posted something during the week. And I said, oh, I got to read that as Hank. And I'll be damned if I can remember it. Can't do it. New sound mixer on Tuesday. Scarlet 212. Is that a brand or is... What are we using? We've got a Pro FX 12.
Talking to a coworker today about the show.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, have you guys ever tried to get a sponsor with Disney or something?" I'm like, "No, they would never do that. Not with the language we use in this show."
Yeah. No.
All right, can you hear me? Do I sound okay before we actually start the show? This is my sound check. Hello there. Does Jason sound good? Scott and ATSW presents the Escape Pod, and Lunar Girl and Dave Martin. How do I sound?
You sound good to me. Since you brought that up. I mean,
Okay. I'm glad you clarified.
Yeah, right. Since I'm right here.
Yes.
So far, so good.
All right. Perfect. All right. One person can hear me. Bottle there. Nice. What is...
You got a new sound mixer.
Oh, nice.
Yes, you're good. All right.
My good what? I don't understand. Yes, my good what?
It's a dynamite taste.
Yeah, whatever.
He's commenting on your grammar.
All right, thanks everybody. I'm an asshole.
Well, somebody genuinely might be like, "What's he talking about?" I don't like. Yeah, this is.
Yep. All right, cool. We good then?
Scott also confirms you sound great.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, I always sound great, but do I sound great on the feed? That's the real question.
Debatable.
Oh, I'm so tired. All right, we ready to do this?
Yeah.
All right, I actually have my watch this week,
Woo-hoo.
so that's a plus. My toast.
Oh, let me make sure I got everything muted here.
So when I said, "Are we ready?" That
Yes,
was my
I'm
cue
ready.
for him to start doing all this. But
Yep.
all right, 30 seconds of silence starting now. To Joe Rogan.
To Joe Rogan.
I think I've toasted him in the past, but he truly is the godfather of podcasts at this point. And he got a lot of bullshit last week or 2 weeks ago from the mainstream press about some made up bullshit. And just want to give him a shout out for anybody out there. I don't care what way you lean politically or anything else. The dude puts on a great fucking show. And
Yeah, he does.
He's got some great guests. He's got some real off-the-wall guests, too. But the beauty of Joe Rogan himself is he's got a very open mind. He's willing to be persuaded. Like, he doesn't go into, like, especially, again, with the political guests. You know, he doesn't go into it with a specific mindset. And the fucking weirdest part of all this is he supported, what's his nuts? Fucking the guy who looks like he's, like, a day from death. Bernie Sanders.
Bernie Sanders.
And he got a bunch of shit for it. Well, Bernie got a bunch of shit for it because apparently Joe Rogan's like the devil, which he's not.
Yeah, obviously.
But you know, it's
yeah.
just...
God forbid he's into all kinds of different experiences. Like he has experimented with drugs. He's a marijuana user.
Yeah.
He's such a broad character.
Yeah.
Of all this different shit, and to think of like the first time you would have saw him was in like news radio.
Right,
you know?
yeah.
In the show news radio, not in news radio.
I know
in the show news radio.
I got it. Some of the younger people might not know that.
They probably won't.
Yeah. But yeah, man, he's fucking awesome. So if you don't listen to his podcast, man, he's got some good guests on there. And you know, they have some really interesting discussions.
Yeah, he does. Very ethereal.
Yeah.
So there's some podcasts you'll listen to, he'll just like get really, really deep into something. And actually, to be honest, some of those are the best ones.
Oh, yeah.
And just him going to certain places and even like, on this drug experience and then doing something else.
Yeah.
Like he did a fucking show for what was it, the Adventure Channel on finding Bigfoot.
Right.
So he'd get high, and then him and another guy would go interview people that were following Bigfoot. It was just like, this is how the guy makes his living.
And he had
good on him.
He had Elon Musk on his show, who just like fucking lights up a joint right there on the show, and it's great, good shit. So yes,
does it make you wonder, like, if as we live in the Matrix, right? If these are the people that have like they're coded into the Matrix a little bit better because the rules don't necessarily apply. How these billionaires, like billions of dollars, never have to worry about money ever in their life, and they just do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah,
the rules don't apply. They're suggestions.
Right.
You know, stop signs, whatever. Parking tickets, yeah, fine. There was something about Bezos was having his house renovated, and he paid like some ridiculous amount of money in parking tickets, like out while this was happening. It was just like, whatever.
Yeah, it must be nice, huh?
Yeah, God, yeah, it would be.
Yep. So anyway, hello everyone, and welcome back to All Things Star Wars, the greatest Star Wars podcast in the galaxy. I'm Mr. Jason Roscom. With me here each and every single week, the whiskey-loving Darth Vader to my Palpatine, Dave Martin. Hello, Dave.
Bourbon specifically.
Oh.
Hello, Jason.
How are you?
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
And if this is the one, I think I'm going to relegate myself because I normally don't drink. So if I have one, just imbibe a little bit during the show, just to have something to look forward to for the week.
Yep.
Totally worth it.
Oh, yeah.
And I fucking needed it this week.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I started back to healthy eating. I think, did we talk about this last week? But
we did, vaguely.
Yeah, day after the Super Bowl, I was back to eating clean, no more junk food, no more bullshit, and I've been, doing that the whole week. I have not, deviated from that plan until like right now as I crack this beer because it's been a long fucking week.
A couple of beers ain't gonna kill you.
As we'll get into when we get into our weeks, but fuck, it's been a long week. I'm fucking tired. And you know what? Sometimes it's just nice to have a beverage.
Indeed.
To cap out the week before you get started on Monday.
Technically, it's starting the week, so we're starting the week off right. Have a beverage and then starting the week. Leave all this shit behind.
Yep, indeed. So, what are we talking about today?
We are continuing with our build up into the release of Clone Wars Season 7.
Yes.
The final season.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about the next 2 episodes on the list of episodes.
Right.
What was that list from?
The Nerdist.
The Nerdist, yeah.
14 essential Clone Wars episodes, but it was actually 14 storylines with a lot more episodes.
And I would have, if I had remembered that, I probably would have included it in the notes so that I could have remembered, but fuck it. The fact that I actually did the notes this week tells you what kind of week Jason's having.
Yes.
So if it's all off the rails, it's entirely Jason's fault.
Right.
As opposed to usually.
My fault for being too busy. So, we've got a very, very special announcement this week, and that is we have a new patron. this week. So, want to give a huge shout out to Avery Morgan, who is our newest patron. And by the way, check out his profile picture on Patreon. It's fucking great.
Nice.
It's the
The salt guy.
yeah, the salt guy, but he's got a little extra Photoshop stuff in there. It's really fucking funny.
Is that cigarettes? What is that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All
right.
So yeah, great profile picture, and thank you, Avery, for your contribution. And hit us up on social media, either direct message us on Instagram or on Facebook, and we'll talk about potentially you choosing a topic, and
Yes.
we'll do all that stuff.
While this is something I forgot to put in the notes, but while we're talking about this,
Mhm.
and you're about to list off all of our Patreon supporters,
Yes.
I would like to make a suggestion that we enlist the skills of your wonderful wife, Kristen,
Uh-huh.
and actually give her the addresses of the people that are supporting us on Patreon so that she can put this stuff together. She'll put it in a nice little package and send it to our Patreon supporters, since we promised them we would do this, like, I don't know, so many
Couple months ago.
I mean, because let's face it, between you and I, like, we sit here, we do the show, we seem to have our shit together, but the reality is we're all over the fucking place all fucking week.
Yeah, as soon as we walk out of this studio,
Yeah, it's on to the work stuff, and
Yeah.
until we get back in here to talk about Star Wars and do the show.
Yeah.
But in between then, what are the chances you're actually going to get this stuff out ever? So if I were you, I would say, pretty please, with sugar on it, take over the responsibility of getting the gifts and prizes out to our Patreon supporters that we promised them. I haven't forgotten. While I'm sitting here in the chair,
Yeah.
as soon as I leave and I moved on to the next thing, yeah, it's busy. Like, everything's in motion.
Yeah, and that's it's what happens. You know, it's always what happens. I'm stupid. You're smart. You were wrong.
Look, I'm just
was
as
right.
culpable of this anyway. The only reason I can even put it on you at all is because you have the addresses.
You're the best. I'm the worst. You're good looking. I'm not attractive.
Well, now we know this now.
Yeah. So yes, again, and thank you so much to our Patreon supporters. In addition to one Avery Morgan, thank you again, sir. We've also got Tony Ferrari, Camille Donovan, Nick Jackson, Frederick Martin, Big Lovin, Scott Rasmussen, Tactical Sweet, Don Solsky, and Shotgun Mark. Thank you, everybody, for all of your support. You are the reason why we do this.
And we have Tactical Swede, aka Big Swede, aka Swede Studios,
Yes,
is in the chat today.
I saw he started another
Yes.
YouTube channel.
So this will be Swede 3.0.
Yes.
I'm going to take to calling it. So thank you. And he's the musical stylings of Swede Studios, if you're so inclined, and look for him on YouTube.
Nice.
For that.
And we'll try to put links that we need to make one fucking text file with all the links to all of our the members of the All Things Star Wars family. Your Tactical Swedes, your Used and Abused, your Escape Pods, all of the links, all of the fucking social media links and all that, so I can just copy and paste it into fucking everything.
I'm surprised you don't have something like that already. Like, don't you cut and paste to make the file now?
But it's just for our stuff, not for
We need to
not
add
for the rest of the ATSW family.
We need to add everyone's stuff into there.
Yes, and we will do it.
Do it.
All right.
Do it.
So, what else do we have to shout out before we get into Star Wars news?
We need to talk about Podbelly.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some sort of reader that I'm supposed to have, and I don't. So I'm just going to say go to podbelly.com and listen to the All Things Star Wars podcast, the #1 site on the Podbelly network.
Yep.
#1 because of the alphabet. I'm not saying that we're better than the Sofa King guys, because the Sofa King podcast is far and away bigger than ours is for now, but we're #1 on their site. So I'm going to go ahead and keep saying it.
My excuse is the only reason that they're bigger is because, they have a broader topic range where we're more narrow in our topics. We're a niche, I guess you would say, when it comes to the Star Wars only content. So that's the only reason why their audience is bigger.
But you can find Sofa King guys on podbelly.com, Art and Jacob Do America, The Graveyard Shift, Meet Me in the Woods, all kinds of crazy shit on the... Jason's updating the list.
Yeah.
It's very rare that Jason actually writes something down when he says he's going to write something down.
Come on, man. You're pulling the curtain back.
Sorry. Anyway, go to podbelly.com if you're interested in starting a podcast. If you want to listen to our podcast, you can stream right through the site, and you will do it.
Scroll down in the chat. You're fucked up there.
Whoop.
There we go.
There you go.
What are you mad about now, Tom? Oh my God. Bronco Fett is always mad.
He is always mad.
He's always mad about something.
I posted hours ago that we were going to be on.
Yeah.
And I guess he was busy. I mean, I guess he is. Maybe he is watching the XFL.
He could be.
Yeah.
Which,
I mean,
like I said, I wanted to tune in also.
And he's out. Ciao. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce that. Ciao.
Yeah.
What is a Buzzsprout account? Anyway.
I don't know. But anyway,
one thing
stay on target.
I wanted to, yeah, right. One thing I wanted to bring up before we get away from like Podbelly, and you can stream the All Things Star Wars podcast. Go to the Podbelly site and you can click and stream through their website, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really curious for our listening audience. How are they inputting? How are they getting the All Things Star Wars podcast?
Oh, like what app or whatever
they're
using?
I'm curious because like I spun up
he's a church, all right.
Yeah, that's
forgivable.
We don't need your phone to melt in the building because of our nonsense.
Mm.
But I'm really curious because like I went into like extra.
It's been doing that for about a week now.
Extra shaky. Well, they're working on the tracks.
Yeah.
So that's probably why.
Yeah.
Train went by if you didn't hear.
Yeah.
Anyway, I went on iHeartRadio and it's like #1 podcast listening app apparently. Self-proclaimed is iHeartRadio, and I was looking for us in iHeartRadio and I couldn't find us. So I'm curious as to like if you're getting us outside of the normal means, like if you're just getting us on iTunes, cool. If you're on something that's not iTunes, let us know. Google Play, are you streaming it directly? Let us know how you're getting it, because if it's something that we need to go to our provider and say, hey, how come we're not showing up on iHeartRadio? How come we're not showing up on Spotify? Because that's another way you can get podcasts. Which I, because I have AT&T for my cell phone,
mm-hmm.
You can get like one premium thing if you're like AT&T Gold or whatever, some fucking made up nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, oh, fucking premium Spotify free. Cool. So I've been using Spotify.
All right.
Because it's free.
Yeah. I'm looking to see. I don't see Spotify here in Libsyn.
It's right there.
Where?
It says Spotify. The word Spotify.
Select content?
I don't know.
Content released to destination Spotify. Content released to destination.
So it says it's released. We're not seeing it.
Yeah. All right. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But anyway, I just am curious to see where are you listening to us from. Got a couple of Google podcast apps. Shit like that. Used and Abused Pod is on Spotify.
Yeah. Anyway, reach out to us on social media, be it Instagram, Facebook. I've even actually been back on Twitter a little bit. Reach out to us on Twitter.
Yeah.
Just let us know where you're downloading the show from.
Ironically, so Twitter's my go-to for sports stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So leaning into the sports season, paying attention to what's going on in fantasy football, shit like that. I'm in the lull period now where there's really not a lot on Twitter about college basketball. I mean, you go into like Bleacher Report.
Because nobody gives a shit about college basketball.
Oh, you are so wrong, my friend. You are so wrong. But we're also a couple days away from pitchers and catchers, so baseball stuff is starting to come out. So I'm starting to look for.
Oh, you're talking about baseball, okay?
Yeah. What is floating in my?
Yeah. Bug.
Yeah. Caught a gnat.
Awesome.
Anyway, boy, woo! There's a lot of squirrels around
I know,
here
right?
today. Holy shit.
So, yes.
Where are we?
Let us know how you're consuming the show.
Yes. That's what we're talking about.
Yes. So, anyway, you've got a note in here about the Kylo Ren books. So,
C.
3PO. What was the catalyst for you putting this in the notes? Because we've kind of vaguely mentioned, like, the Rise of Kylo Ren comics are out there. We haven't bought them or read them. up to this point. So what was it that got you to actually put this into the notes?
I'm throwing it up here in the studio that what actually drew my attention to it. So I went to StarWars.com today just to I wanted to click on their news feed, see if I was missing anything that I didn't ordinarily pick up through everywhere else I look. And I just was looking at it, and it has the preview for Kylo Ren #3, and it starts talking about some of the things that are in the actual comic for that episode.
Yeah.
And Ben Solo seeks out the Knights of Ren in Rise of Kylo Ren #3. And I didn't really read through it because I didn't want to, honestly, I didn't want to commit myself to anything.
Mm-hmm.
But it's got Luke with some Padawans.
That's the fucking temple and the kids.
Yep.
That are...
So this is, we kind of blew it off. When we talked about it the other day, we were just like real dismissive about it because of financial reasons. Like, all right, we'll wait for something like this to get on to Marvel Unlimited, and it'll be a little easier to digest.
Well, and the reason being, we've been so disappointed with previous outings, with be it the Phasma comics or some of the other shit that we covered in the past. It was like it was okay, but nothing that was really worth plunking down that money that we spent on it. So.
And this to me looks like something that this is canonical. This is telling a story that we haven't already heard some form or fashion of, and it looks pretty goddamn good. So I'm thinking I might see if somehow we can start talking about this at some point before the 6-month window opens for Marvel Unlimited.
Okay, well, hold on. Just go back up. On February 12th. Do we know how many issues this is going to be? Is it going to be 4 issues?
I did not do that much research into it.
Because what we could do is, once the final issue comes out, be it issue 4, 5, 6, whatever, then we, maybe split the costs. Like if it's $4 an issue, I'll give you enough money for half.
Okay.
You chip in the other half. You buy them on your fucking Marvel account. You read them. Then give me your fucking information.
Yeah, we'll pass it along. Yeah, something like that.
And then I'll read it, and then we'll talk about it on the show. We'll talk about the whole series once it's concluded.
That's fair. We should do that.
Yes, and we will do it.
Do it. I mean, obviously, we don't need the content right now, but because we have Clone Wars stepping in, and we're getting close to the end where we're going to be nice and teed up for the next season.
Oh yeah, because once Clone Wars kind of levels out, when the new season starts, and it's one a week, and there's no fucking way we're gonna spend an entire episode on one episode of the Clone Wars. Well, maybe. We'll see. We did for the Mandalorian. Well, no, we even combined some Mandalorian. So,
I think that was made based on time constraints. I think it's really going to be dependent on what it gives us.
Yeah.
Is it going to be 30 to 40 minutes for each one of these things?
I'm guessing 30 minutes. I mean, I'm guessing it's going to be the same length as Dave taking Quaaludes live on the show, but...
No, they're not Quaaludes.
Whatever. Whatever pills you're popping live on the air.
I have all kinds of pills. Don't you worry about it.
Man,
vitamin M. Good to go. Keep talking.
Sorry. You're throwing me off with all this fucking pill popping. So...
'Tis the time.
Drink some more whiskey. That might make it go down nice and smooth.
It will.
Anyway, yes.
As a matter of fact, it will.
Oh my god. So that's what we're gonna do with Rise of Kylo Ren, because it's not that we were
dismissive.
We were a little dismissive, but it's not like we didn't care. It was just kind of like, there's so much going on. We've been disappointed by comics in the past. We'll just kind of see what happens. So I think that's what we're gonna do.
Anyway, but that was why I put it in the notes. I feel like it looks like there's a lot of good stuff in this particular comic that it'll be worth addressing, because I'm really fucking curious.
Yeah.
It's one of those unanswered questions, We know how Ben Solo finishes.
Yep.
I'm really curious as to how he began. The time from when we see him as a child in Bloodline or is alluded to as a child in Bloodline to where we are now.
What do you make, or have you even heard of this whole, again, anything that's like an online petition is already bullshit. I don't put any stock into it or whatnot, but there's another one going around about somehow them figuring out a way to revive Ben Solo in Star Wars canon. The only reason I'm asking that is because I didn't realize how popular of a character he was, especially after Rise of Skywalker. Like, people really love him. Apparently, the ladies really love him. So, what are your thoughts?
Kylo?
Yeah, what are your thoughts on that? The unexpected popularity of Adam Driver / Kylo Ren / Ben Solo.
That's a good question. I can't see a real reason to revive his character. Leaning on Legends material, because that's kind of still has prevalence in what I've read and what I kind of relate to,
and it has inspired some current canon.
And we know that Han and Leia's firstborn was killed.
Solo. Yeah,
no, the firstborn was Anakin.
No, he was born after the twins. He was younger than the twins.
Was he?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. We'll go with
I
that.
read the original Thrawn trilogy and the Jedi Academy trilogy. I know.
Okay. I read it too. I don't remember, apparently. So, just add that to the list of things I've actually read as opposed to ones I can pretend to read.
Right.
Regardless. So, Anakin
died first. Yes, he died.
He died, and then there was no real sense of revival, just like they killed off Chewbacca. Yeah. And then I just, there's no reason to. His character had the resolution for what he needed to move on.
Yeah, he was the Anakin of this trilogy.
Yeah,
like really.
And I'm glad people liked him. I thought the character. I enjoyed Kylo Ren temper tantrums. I loved him when he was freaking out on different stuff and playing that tormented guy. There's probably a lot to be said for how Rian Johnson, with the interaction with Kylo Ren and Rey through the Force, probably endeared him more as a character because he was having a more of a human connection as opposed to just the I'm a Sith Lord fucking wearing my helmet all the time guy.
Right.
Like standing there topless with his weird nipples and fucking LL Kylo Ren. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was a petition though. But I agree. Fuck those petitions.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is that there probably was a day and time decades ago where a petition actually meant something.
Right.
It doesn't mean shit now.
Yeah, not in the age of the internet.
Nope. Does not mean shit.
Nope. So yeah, it's soon. It doesn't matter what it is. As soon as you hear online petition, you can just write it off. Shout out to Benjamin Roscom in the chat. What's going on, Ben?
So, Dad, you going to give me a shout out or what?
I think I just did.
There you go.
So, and yes, check out the Brothers Roscom on YouTube. That is Ben's YouTube channel. It was initially created for him and his brothers, but Ben sort of co-opted the whole
took
thing.
It over.
He's like, it's mine now.
Is his celebration dance for the Chiefs winning on there?
No, but I should put that on there.
You should put that on there.
Yeah.
Because that was actually pretty good.
I was really hoping to avoid any Super Bowl talk this week.
I'm bringing it back, baby. How about that Super Bowl? Listen, all kidding aside, what I'm going to remember most about this Super Bowl is your son, like in the chair, and he's all dejected, and he looks at me. He's like, Dave, do they have a chance to win? I'm like, yeah, there's plenty of time. Of course they can win, right? And then sure as shit, they fucking win, and he was so happy.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
but he was just so like it.
He was upset.
He was just so upset because they were losing, and it's like
Well, it was his first real experience as a fan seeing his team in like a big game like this, So, and when they were down 10 points in the fourth quarter, it looked pretty bleak. But then that interaction happened, and then we all know what happened after that. So,
you're welcome, Ben.
I'm not talking about this. But I even told you, like, this. All right, fuck it. We're gonna talk about it for a second. Niners were up 10. Chiefs drive down, score a touchdown. I'm like, they have to be aggressive at this point. If they go 3 and out right now, it's over.
Yep, you said that out loud too.
The Niners went 3 and out, and I'm like, the game's over. The Chiefs just won the game when the 49ers couldn't get a first down on that drive. And the Chiefs, because it's all about momentum, man. If you've watched the NFL for any length of time, you know it's all about momentum and who's got that momentum at the end of the game. And the Chiefs had it, so that was that.
Yeah, and they were I think I even said in the podcast that they were going to be behind.
Yeah,
and then they were coming back
because they're the new Eagles, right? They
Yeah.
thrive on like playing from behind, so that's just what they do. Anyway, moving on. You've got another bullet point in here about Alexa's Star Wars knowledge.
Yeah,
so do tell.
I was training Alexa to
the Amazon Echo, if you
right.
If you're not familiar,
connect to the Spotify account, right? So I'm going in there and I'm scrolling through all the things that Alexa can do, and there's like a couple of different line items where you can ask Alexa to like give you Star Wars trivia. Star Wars trivia.
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
So I was thinking that'd be a great thing for the show. We get one of the dots in here.
We've got like 3 of them in the house.
Yeah, so we bring one in here and we just have a Alexa, us versus Alexa like trivia game or something.
That would be good.
We'll have to test drive it before we go live, but
sure.
Just to see. But I think it'd be a fun 10 minutes or so.
We just do it live and fuck it. Like,
yeah,
let them see us kind of monkey fuck this whole thing.
Yeah, so. Sounds about right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought, I was looking there. I was like, oh wow, look at all the Star Wars stuff in there. Also, when I was looking at StarWars.com and seeing I saw the Kylo Ren thing. There is so much shit. Like they do this cover where they have this Clone Wars revisit, and I'll go through and they revisit all the highlights of a particular Clone Wars episode.
I have seen those before, yeah.
So they're through StarWars.com anyway. I haven't seen it anywhere else because I don't watch like normal television. But they're getting ready. They're building up as much as they possibly can to get this next season of Clone Wars out. So I'm pretty excited, actually.
Yeah. Oh, and I have a question for the people in the chat. So since there is a delay between us and the chat, I think this is a good time to ask, and we'll address it when we actually get to the main topic. But these 2 episodes that we're talking about the last 2 episodes in season 4 of the Clone Wars, when you get the return of Darth Maul, basically. We didn't watch these shows when they first aired, right? So at this point, did we know for this episode Brothers that was definitively Darth Maul? Did StarWars.com or Lucasfilm make some sort of a statement back then when we had the Night Sisters trilogy, right? And Mother sent fucking Savage away, and she had her little crystal ball with fucking the red Zabrak's face in there. Like, was there confirmation at that point that this was indeed Darth Maul? Or was it just like, oh, that could be Darth Maul, but we don't know yet? So I want to know that because I think that's going to play into the discussion as we talk about this episode Brothers later on. Like, what was the knowledge of Maul's return at this point? Was it a surprise, or when they showed that fucking crystal ball in that fucking episode of the Night Sisters, did everybody know it at that point?
That's a great point.
So please, anybody who was watching Clone Wars at the time, this is like 10 years ago now.
March 9th, 2012 is when it aired.
There you go. So 8 years ago. So yeah, please let us know in the chat so we have a better
idea.
Yeah. Context.
There you
better
go.
Context for when I'm like, it starts with a C. Context. Yes.
It legitimately, it feels like it's 11 o'clock at night right now. Like I'm tired to the point where.
And you know what? We're just going to go ahead and skip my next bullet point, and then we're going to move right into our weeks because that's a great segue. And for me, this is another one of those weekends where I had to work all fucking weekend. But here's the thing. It's not about just working on the weekend because, I've been doing this for years. It's the build up to that weekend that really fucking just takes the life out of me because ultimately the week before at work, we have to prepare for these 70 man children to come in that we have to fucking babysit for 2 days. So the 2 days of working the weekend and babysitting these fucking man children is only one small part of that. A big part of it is the ramp up to that weekend.
Right.
And just all of the expectations and everything that we have to get done. These fucking work weekends just drain me so bad, which to the point where I'm so fucking behind on everything right now. I didn't get last week's episode of this podcast posted until last night. And I have episode 4 of the Escape Pod in my inbox that I have to post still, which hopefully will go live tonight. But I haven't posted that yet this week. So I'm so fucking behind, and it's
listen, man, we had the beauty when we were in the old unit together. occasionally we had to work a weekend.
Yeah.
But if we were home and like we weren't on a trip or something and we had to show up for a weekend, it was like a half day. We didn't have shit to do.
Right.
Because we didn't have the fucking man children that we were babysitting.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have any of that. We just had to sit there so some fucking knob knocker will fucking walk by and just like, oh, look, there's somebody here from that unit.
Yeah.
Like it was all about FaceTime at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Right? No
visibility.
Yeah, exactly. Visibility. So I can't unfortunately now that I'm retired, my work weekend is self-imposed because my work week is pretty generic,
right?
You know, and then I don't bring a lot of work home with me. It's not the nature of what I do right now.
Yeah.
So I have all my extra shit that I'm doing, you know, all my lodge bullshit, all my, school, you know, I got 2 classes of schoolwork that I have to get done so I can fucking graduate. And I do bring some work home stuff with me. I just because that's who I am.
That's you.
And
like,
the
I would
lodge,
expect no less.
And the lodge is a part-time job in and of itself.
Mm.
So I feel you, man, because you get to a point in a weekend where it's just like I cannot function anymore. It's just I've maxed out my bandwidth, and I need a hard reset.
And that's me right now.
Yeah, I feel you. And you got 4 more days of work coming up.
Yeah.
Thank God it's not a dirty dozen.
Oh, God, yeah. Thankfully, those are few and far between these days.
You have a 4-day weekend coming up, though.
Yeah. So, yeah, it'll be good. It's just I got to get there. Like today was the hardest part. Starting tomorrow, things kind of like go back on the downslope through Thursday, and then I'll be back to normal. So that's that. Want to give a huge shout out to, we've talked about her before, but Sith Jade. Go on to Instagram, follow Sith Jade Modeling, all one word. We do a little bit of cross promotion. She's an Instagram model. I'll put in quotations, but she is quite the lovely lady. She's got a lot of Star Wars tattoos, and you know, she's got certain pieces of media where you can see a lot more of her. So I will just leave it at that. But she has been, you know, advertising our show on her social media feeds. So I just want to return the favor and say, check out Sith Jade.
Sex sells, people.
It does.
Sex sells, especially with fucking the nerds that we're placating to. So
yeah.
And get in there and follow her and do whatever it is, your dirty business.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. I'm so envious of women, especially like if you were like an attractive woman, you could do fucking anything and make a living. Like if we were both 2 attractive women doing a Star Wars podcast, we'd be the most fucking popular podcast in the world.
Yeah,
easily.
Definitely the most popular Star Wars podcast.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, so,
but we're not.
No,
so,
but whatever.
What are you gonna do?
Yep.
Doesn't mean you can't promote us though. What the fuck?
Indeed. So that's my week. After I send a text to Kristen to ask for another beer. But yeah, that's my week. So what about you?
I was wondering why you were waiting to. First off, want to have a shout out to frequent guests of the show. Someone who's awaiting his next appearance on the show once we get the schedules worked out. The John.
Yeah.
For making Chief today or yesterday officially.
Yeah, Chief Master Sergeant.
Yep.
E9.
E9. So the highest rank you can be as an enlisted guy.
Yeah.
He's been waiting quite a long time
3
for
years
this to happen.
For as long as I've been in my current position, he's been in his position.
Yeah, he's been promotion eligible that entire time. So, congrats, John.
Yes,
we're proud of you. We expect big things.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
It is awesome. So I wanted to get that out there. Dude, with all this bullshit that's been going on, right? Just fucking drowning in calculus and everything and all the other nonsense I involved myself in. My fucking heater crapped out last week. So heater takes a shit on when was that?
It was about last week at this time.
It was like it was. I think it was Sunday last. Was it Sunday last week? No, we were at the Super Bowl.
No, I feel like it was before the Super Bowl, before we recorded last.
It was before that because I had gone and gotten the heaters and stuff like that. So had somebody come out, take a look at it. They're like, "Oh, it's just this circuit board. It's going to cost $1 million fucking dollars, right?" Like, "Oh, that sucks."
Thank you.
So, fucking spend the money on a circuit board, and the fucking PSEG guy that showed up,
Mhm.
It's like, oh, this is going to cost you like an exorbitant amount of money to get it, and then the labor and everything else. I'm like, well, thank God I have a friend, a fellow Mason, Dave Tilton, Rescue Air. If you're in the Jersey area, look him up if you're for your HVAC needs. But so he got hold of the card for me and installed it. Cool. Heat worked great for like 3 days. Then when we had this cold front blow through here, and it was a big rain event. Then it suddenly got cold. No snow, nothing cool. Just absolute dog shit.
Wait, hold on. What was? I think it was Friday is when it turned from rain, and then it got really fucking cold. I'm driving home in like fucking weird, like sleety hail kind of weather. It was like it had been raining all day, and then around like 3 o'clock, the weather fucking turned, and all of that rain turned to like fucking just the big ice pellets. It wasn't like. It wasn't sleet. It was this weird, just fucking. Yeah. It wasn't hail either.
There was there was a frontal boundary that came through, and the heater never picked back up. Like, so, it was warm for a couple days, so really it was running, everything was fine, and all of a sudden, boom, it's not working again. So, had to call my buddy back out, and thankfully he got it working. But it was just the heater's 15 years old, and which I should, knock on wood that nothing else happens to it before I can replace it. But it really made me think about how 15 years for like a modern system, like to me, it's like, okay, this thing was installed in 2005. It seems new, right? When you say something's from 2005, it's like, wow, that's pretty new.
Yeah.
It's not. It really isn't. That's 15 years of fucking, heating and air conditioning fucking abuse that it's had. And then it's just the first time we really had an issue with it. And unfortunately, just by the nature of the system, that board just is super expensive. Excuse me. So, fuck. So I'm going to have to sell some money out next year.
And Luna Girl, Grapple, soft ice pellets. Exactly.
Grapple, yeah. So, yeah, fucking dealing with that bullshit, it just adds to that extra stress. It's like, oh, well, trying to get all this other shit done, and then also trying to get the heater fixed, and just legitimately by the part of the weekend where you're supposed to be getting recharged and everything else, you're like swamped. So hopefully by sometime middle next week, I'll feel like a decent human being again.
Yeah.
However, I did get to play some Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
So we talked about it last week, kind of talking about how I think we pretty much said like why Battlefront 2, because I was talking about playing that other game that
Call of Duty.
No, the one, the Titanfall.
Oh.
That same company that made Fallen Order.
Yep.
So I'm looking at all this stuff online for I'm more into Reddit now than as far as social media goes.
That's funny. I've actually been doing a lot of Reddit lately too.
Yeah.
And I was never a Reddit guy before now.
Yeah, and it's for whatever reason I'm into it. It's probably some influencers at work, but I'm looking at some of the stuff, and I follow the subreddit for Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront. And a lot of people rave about the games and the things that are coming out and the gameplay modes and shit like that. So I'm like, You know what? I have to get back into this. Yeah. So I had, my brain was not functioning. There was no bandwidth for anything else except for sitting down and playing a video game last night. And so I fired up Battlefront 2, and I didn't go online. Well, I did for a little bit and played in a couple of maps, and I'm telling you, man, it's the view. Yeah. If that view would pan back a couple of feet, like virtual feet, like maybe 12 feet, just bring that picture back just a smidgen, it'd be a completely different game.
Yeah. It's always just felt weird.
It's just, and doesn't matter how big your TV is, it just, the perspective is just off. It's just off. Yeah. I even tried playing it in third person, like as opposed to the first person view. I tried to play it in third person.
Sure.
Same.
Still nothing, huh?
So I'm like, all right, let me turn this on and fly around. So I turned on the AI, went into a game mode and was flying the tie around and got the controllers right because, I realized that why I was having so little success flying in the game was because they had this, like, you'd be flying, and as soon as you get to a certain angle, it would right itself.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I find myself constantly, because my anticipation is like, okay, I fire a thruster, right? I'm flying in space, right? So I
Yeah.
fire a thruster that gets me going like this, and then I'll stay like that until I counteract that movement. Newton's laws. That was Newton's second law.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, but we've also talked about the laws of physics in the Star Wars universe.
True. But this one in particular, I'm like, when you're trying to dick dodge through all this fucking debris, like the post Death Star explosion debris,
Yep.
and it's all over the place, I'm dying a bunch of times flying into fucking shit, not getting shot at.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured out that axis and I turned that shit off. So then I actually enjoyed it. I like the flying part. So I'm going to try and play more Battlefront 2 to get to a point where I'm going to legitimately give it a fair shot.
Okay. Well, and you know what? I haven't played Battlefront 2 in probably a year.
Mm.
So I will give it a shot also. And it's funny you mentioned the space battles, because of all of the multiplayer modes from the previous, from all the previous iterations I played, I enjoyed the space battles the most because they were kind of the most immersive, even though I sucked.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I got my ass fucking handed to me every time. It felt good. It felt good. It looked good. I think it really kind of made you feel like you were flying in a Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
I was just terrible at it.
It's just, and because if I'm going to go to that level,
Mhm.
like we've talked about how much I love the TIE Fighter Simulator thing, right? That was like
Oh, yeah.
my favorite game ever from the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
I back it up into, so I'm looking through the cockpit.
Oh,
I'm not in third person. I'm actually
okay.
looking through there, which makes it so much harder.
Really?
But it's way more. It's just better.
Right.
To me, the experience is better.
Can you do like a co-op versus bot opponents?
Yes, it has a
Maybe
mode for
we
that.
should like try and do
Yeah.
a couple of those
Yeah.
and see how that works in both like flying and on the ground.
Yeah, why not?
And just because like here's the deal, right? When you're playing an online shooter, like an online multiplayer shooter, there's always going to be these fucking people online that are just so fucking good.
Oh yeah.
Either A, they've got like the programmable controller and they've just got auto aim and all that other
Motherfuckers.
bullshit, or they're legitimately just that fucking good where if this was like a professional game, they could play on a professional level. And you're never gonna be good against those people. But if it was like you and me teaming up against bots and you can like adjust their AI difficulty and all that, that could actually be kind of fun.
Yeah.
So,
And then if we're playing it enough, we'll get to the point where we're as good as we were in Battlefront and Call of Duty and things like that. It's a level of immersion that we're not giving it, I think, because it's so much different. But generally speaking, I feel like the only people that are still talking bad about it are us because of whatever our expectations are of it.
Yeah.
But looking at all the stuff that's on Reddit, and I really think that it's very popular. There was a post on there from it wasn't from EA, but it was from basically the game department at Lucas, and they're in there saying, "Hey, December was our most played month ever."
I did see that. Yeah, in like an earnings report or something. They're like, yeah we had far more.
Yeah, I think you mentioned it actually in the last pod.
More engagement than they thought they were going to get.
Yeah, and they put a thank you out to all the new players. They're getting new players still. So, and listen, us giving it a fair shot or whatever, who gives a fuck? We're just a couple of nerds. If that's two less people that are playing online, they don't really give a shit. But I think that bodes well for if the product is being well received, they'll continue to make a product and strive to make that product better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if nobody's fucking playing it, then nobody's going to give a shit. It'll just let it die on a vine.
Right.
But if that many people are playing it and they're still getting new players, like new numbers, then I think that bodes well for the franchise in general.
Exactly, because like say Battlefront 2 had crashed and burned, the idea of a Battlefront 3 would never have happened.
True.
Right? So now even though they're probably going to continue to support Battlefront 2 for a while, it bodes well for a Battlefront 3 down the line.
Yeah.
So that's, it's good. Overall, it's very good.
And so last thing for my week, while I'm doing all the homework and all this other shit, I've been putting John Williams on, playing it on the speakers in the house, whatever, just because it's the fucking best. It's absolutely the best.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never really been into Spotify, so now that I've got this Spotify Premium thing for free, I've been using the shit out of it. So John Williams radio was one of the things, and it's got
really?
it's got a nice mix of like all his different stuff. And then I was like,
Nice.
well, I like everything I just heard,
Yeah.
so I went through and basically 1,000 plus, like, not 1,000. I'm exaggerating. It's probably around 700 different tracks that I selected from every John Williams album I could find. So like, I didn't know that John Williams did the soundtrack for Empire in the Sun. That Sean Connery, Japanese, like, I'm a Japanese man. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
No.
It was like some hot Japanese broad and Sean Connery doing Sean Connery things in Japanese. But anyway, he did the soundtrack for that. He did a bunch of the Band of Brothers soundtrack had come on when I was listening to it. So his fucking catalog is so fantastic. And even if I'm not so familiar with the movie that I didn't pick up right away, I like had to look at like, what am I listening to right now? And had to look to see what movie it had come from.
Mm-hmm.
It was fantastic. It was just good just by itself. Just as, hey, I like classical music. I'm listening to it. And we talked about it a little bit last week, and Nick and I talked about it all week, or last week, because he's doing his music thing right now, and so he's like, you know, really getting into the being isolating into the music and stuff, shit like that.
Yeah.
The little nuances that are kind of shared through all the John Williams stuff, like you hear things in the listening to the Home Alone soundtrack and a little bit of the Jaws soundtrack, and oh, here's this in E.T. and here's all obviously some Star Wars, and then oh shit, that's, you know, you hear it, it's like, oh, that's Indiana Jones. Like, it just has to be a little smidgen of it, like, that's Indiana Jones.
Yeah, but there's like, especially that time in the early 80s when he was like just fucking at his fucking peak. Like, you can tell, like, it doesn't matter what movie it was from. That's John Williams. Easily pick it out that it's John Williams.
Yeah. It's so good. I celebrate the man's entire catalog. And it's been good to have in the background to try and keep my level of fucking calm. At least some semblance of level of calm anyway. So, are you going to go pee?
Yes, sorry.
Right. He's on his phone.
Yeah, sorry, distractions, squirrel. This is what happens.
All the squirrels.
When your week gets condensed into, like, you know, very little free time. So, anyway, we're going to move on to our main topic after we take this word from our sponsors.
It's gross. Fucking snaps. Can we not have the snaps anymore?
Nope.
God damn it. What else was there? Oh man, so much good shit John Williams did. 700 fucking tracks worth. And it's pretty much the best. So my lovely wife's on the chat, and I'm going to ask her, how did you make out with your quiz? Question mark. Oh, Lordy. Jason says, oh, this will probably be a short podcast. We're already an hour into it. We haven't even talked about Clone Wars yet. It's pretty much the best. We need a tinkle timer. No, we don't. It's he's got I think it's like a squirrel bladder. It's about the size of a walnut.
What, my balls?
Also, yes. That door's not shut.
Sure it is.
I didn't sound like it shut. All right. If I start getting cold, though, it's your fault.
Okay.
Oh, yes, John Williams is the man. So Sweet Studios is getting a paint job.
Yeah?
I'm sure he's posting some stuff on his social media. What I like about it, and I think what draws my eye to it, is that that's like the wall of his recording studio.
That looks like our wall.
Right? Because it's like that.
Yeah. Like,
well,
wait, is that
and obviously we don't have the market cornered on the Star Wars or Jeff and Jess, who made our Star Killer Studios sign.
Yes.
Did not have the market on Star Wars fonts.
Right.
But yeah, like when he first put that up, it's like, oh, I really like that. I wonder why I like that so much.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's why.
Speaking of our studio sign
Oh,
designers, Is there any additional word on when the ceremony is going to be and everything?
I think it's 10-10.
10-10.
Yeah.
Wait, 10-20?
10-10-20. As far as I know.
All right. Just curious. I know you announced the engagement here, so.
Mm-hmm.
Do you need to pee or anything?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I probably will have to later. Nobody in the chat mentioned anything about what you had brought up.
Oh, really? About
Yeah, where were you? Actually, I'm going to ask Big Swede. When the Clone Wars first came out, the hints at Maul, was it known right away that it was Maul when they first hinted at it in the crystal ball, or was it kind of a cliffhanger? And
right.
in the Brothers episode, that's when you realize it was actually Maul.
Because to me, I'll save it for the podcast. But
yeah.
I mean, to me, it seemed like they were trying to string us along. Is it him? Is it him? And then
yeah, we'll talk about it for the pod.
All right. We good?
Yeah. Don't forget, I have to do the read.
Oh yeah, the voice.
Yep.
All right. 30 seconds of silence, and then we'll resume. Starting. Yeah. And we're back! So, Clone Wars. Now, I know last week we had kind of promised 5 episodes this week, but...
It was a little ambitious.
I should have known, knowing the week that was coming up, that it was not going to happen. So we're only doing 2 episodes. The last 2 episodes of Season 4 of the Clone Wars. The episodes of Brothers and Revenge.
Right.
Pretty big episodes, though. So it's enough to talk about for an episode of this podcast. And we're going to start off with Brothers, and we'll start off with the narration.
A darkness awaits! Count Dooku's bitter betrayal of his former apprentice, Asajj Ventress, resulted in the creation of a new menace in the galaxy, Savage Opress. Caught in a deadly game of revenge between Ventress and Dooku, Savage barely escaped the carnage. Beaten and alone, he returned to Mother Talzin, his creator, who gave him a new quest to pursue his long-lost brother.
Yes. So,
brother. Hey, brother. Let's say the word brother all the time.
Brother?
Oh, brother.
So, lots of things to unpack right from the start.
Oh, yeah.
First of all, it's very seamless. If you remember the Night Sisters trilogy that we covered 2 episodes ago, I think that was part of our first Clone Wars Essentials episode of the podcast. The Night Sisters was the first arc in that.
Sure.
This picks up right on the heels of that, because at the end of that it was Mother sending Savage. Yes, which
you hear that quietly in the background of everything. Savage.
Yeah, I'm watching it last night, and one of my sons was watching it with me, and it's spelled Savage, and he's like, "Oh, why are they calling that Savage guy Savage or whatever?" And it's like,
well, even in the episode, they say something savage,
yeah,
right? They don't, because it's Savage.
Yeah, it's dumb. But anyway,
Calvin Klein's Savage.
So really, you could have not watched any episodes in between the fucking Night Sisters and this episode, and it would have been seamless.
Yeah, which I didn't, so it works out.
Exactly. So again, thank you, Nerdist, for putting together this list, because this is perfect. Did you notice at the beginning of this, the logo for the Clone Wars, when it's was red. It was bright red, almost like a blood red.
I did not.
Almost. Whereas before, it's been in the typical yellow fucking font.
Right.
For this episode and for the next episode, Revenge, it was in fucking red. Now, I don't know if that was just a transition that was made at some point during Season 4, but this was the first time I noticed it.
Huh.
So, I don't know if this is just for these 2 episodes. It's something to look up at some point. But
Hey, while we're looking stuff up, so I think I mentioned before that it aired on March 9th, 2012, right?
yeah,
The writer for this, do you know who the writer was?
no idea.
Katie Lucas.
Oh, George's daughter. His
Yes.
adopted daughter.
His adopted daughter was the writer for the Brothers episode.
No shit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good job, Katie. Anyway.
Snaps for Katie.
Yeah. It's not
All right.
for everybody. So, yeah, and again, it picks up right where the last one left off. And this one starts off with a fucking diner scene, which I don't think I even mentioned last week when we were talking about the fucking Jedi, the fucking asshole Jedi with the 4 arms. He was the same species.
Yeah, we did mention
as
it actually.
fucking Dex or whatever, your favorite character.
My favorite character
from the prequels. Well, now we go to a diner scene that looks exactly like the fucking diner from your favorite scene. In your favorite character.
I was half awaiting. You know, you wait for that dude to fucking show up in there.
Yeah.
Instead of some other fucking alien with the same like, there's always fights happening in here.
Right. Because. Like at the beginning, as you were watching this, you could have convinced me that this was that exact same diner on fucking Coruscant.
Mm-hmm.
Which, how big are diners in the rest of the country? Because I'm going to be honest with you. Before I moved out to New Jersey in '96, never been in a diner before. Didn't know what a fucking diner looked like from the inside. But now that I'm like basically a New Jersey native, so to speak, you know, I know all about diners. Like, are there diners like there are in Jersey and the rest of the fucking
I don't
country?
think there is.
Or world, for that matter?
Not like there is here.
Right.
I mean, here, diners are the staple.
Yeah.
Whereas you go to other places in the country, you're going into towns where they have like, oh, here's a breakfast restaurant.
Yeah.
Here's like this thing, that thing. No, diner is like the all-encompassing, open late place to fucking go to put some food on top of the booze you've been drinking.
Yeah, and
like,
they capture that in this episode.
Yeah.
Even in the episode in Attack of the Clones, or the part in Attack of the Clones, where he goes into the diner. They capture the essence of a New Jersey diner.
So it makes me wonder, like, is that a reach back to, like, what was the name of that show? It was on fucking late 70s, early 80s. Like, Mel's.
Happy Days.
Also Happy Days.
Oh, the Mel's Diner with
Mel's
Alice
Diner.
and all
Yeah,
that.
it had Alice in, like, in the diner outfit.
Flo.
So I wonder if that was the
inspiration
country's
for this.
inspiration for just the idea of a diner.
Okay.
Because otherwise, I mean, and they had a nationally televised show on Food Network or something like that about diners, drive-ins, and dives.
Yeah.
Something like that. So it can't just be a Northeastern concept, but we do it right here in the Northeast.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's like the diner experience around here. You can have a really shitty dining experience, but for the most part, especially for breakfast, you can't beat it.
Yeah.
Can't beat it. Fucking IHOP and Denny's and all those fucking places can go eat a dick, because this is the place to go if you want to have a diner experience.
Yeah. In fact, when my family went to see Rise of Skywalker the first night, or the first morning, we had an 8:00 show, so we just went to a diner, fucking over here in Cherry Hill, a new one that we'd never been to before. But yeah, typical New Jersey diner.
Yep.
Great experience. You know, the service you get in some of these diners, it's just fucking great.
Yeah, it's an experience.
It is.
It is truly an experience.
Yep. So anyway, I just felt that was worth mentioning.
Fucking diners.
Yeah, the fucking the diner robots, the fucking waitress robots, and all that, exactly the same as Attack of the Clones. Like, again, you could have convinced me this was that same diner in Attack of the Clones until you saw the exterior shot and knew it wasn't fucking Coruscant.
Right.
But yeah, and it's fucking Savage, like, beating the shit out of somebody, and I guess he's looking for his brother at this point, but he doesn't know exactly where he is or how to get there. Like, this fucking necklace that he was given by fucking mother is like giving him clues.
Yeah, the talisman like starts, glowing or whatever when he's close to a clue.
Mm-hmm.
Which seems why. All right, so the premise of this is the fucking mother sends Savage out into the world to fucking find the brother.
Yeah.
So she programs this talisman to fucking give him the clues to be able to find the brother.
Right.
Why not just tell him where the fuck he is? Use your dark magic to figure out where the fuck he is. If you're programming this talisman, like, how is he supposed to know where to start?
Yeah.
Is this part of Savage's training and
Maybe.
like to make him better? Because let's face it, he was a fucking pipsqueak piece of shit when they made him, like, they used the dark magic to make him into the fucking
Hulk.
the Hulk. And with the extra, did it annoy the fuck out of you the fact that his fucking fingernails were so long?
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Oh my god, you can't not notice it. Like when you're sitting in front of a fucking 60-inch television and his fingers like pointed like this at you, and it's like, no, fingernail like this long, because he's got the longer horns.
Yeah. Well, even Maul had the longer horns.
Well, yeah, because he hasn't fucking seen it. He hasn't been keeping himself up.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Well, and we'll get to that, I'm sure. But yeah, if you look at Savage, it's all fucking. Its fingernails are all long and shit. I'm just like, I can't stand that. Can't fucking stand it.
Yeah, I totally missed that.
Yeah, broads have long fingernails. Dudes aren't supposed to have fingernails. Not like that.
Did you just assume his gender? How dare you?
Yeah, I assumed his gender.
Yeah.
Because he says brother all the time.
Okay.
I mean,
enough. Now there was in the middle of all this, Savage like looking for fucking Maul or like his brother. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
He's fucking.
They're all brothers.
He's finding all this. Yeah, exactly. He's finding all this fucking dust, and he's like, "Lead me to the way." In the middle of all this, we get a shot of fucking Ventress in another fucking dive bar kind of place, and apparently she's a bounty hunter now.
Yeah, so she kind of like. We're probably missing something between the couple of episodes because Ventress is basically sitting in some bar with another alien female.
Yeah.
Which it's to me it seemed like this was her girlfriend.
Right, exactly. It seemed very sexual.
Yeah.
Like the interaction.
Very, because Ventress is already one of those like real sexual fucking like everything has this little bit of sexual tension, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it didn't seem out of place. It's like, yeah, okay, that checks.
Sure.
Right? So then like she's in here with the bounty hunting, and she gets this sense of like this imbalance in the Force.
Yeah.
With from Savage, and then fast forward a little bit, and Anakin has the same like feeling.
Right.
And then Yoda and Obi-Wan all have this fucking feeling too. So it's like what I was remarking about. We talked about it with the last episodes with the brother and sister. And father, brother and daughter, I guess were their names, whatever. But how much of
their names, like brother, father, sister,
their presence in the Force, like, and how much control they had over the Force, and we're focused again on Savage and Darth Maul and how much influence they have throughout the entirety of the Force, so that they can feel that something's wrong, something's different. And just the fact that Maul existed wasn't it. It took this extra little bit of twist.
Sure.
And how does Palpatine not know?
Well, he might. Like, we haven't seen the aftermath of these 2 episodes yet.
Right.
So, it's my understanding that there is some interaction there during the course of the Clone Wars between Maul and Palpatine and all that. So, we haven't gotten to that point yet.
Right. But it's just, as I'm watching all this stuff and everyone's feeling these changes, you're getting the perspective from our protagonists, feeling this in the Force, but you don't really see what's going on with the Chancellor, with Palpatine. And maybe we do get to that point. I don't know. I haven't looked at the next 3 episodes yet. So maybe we do get there, but it's just, to me, it's like, wow, if they're making this much waves in the Force right now, just with Savage looking for his brother, how many other Force beings are doing this? Yeah. Sidebar. So I finished Ahsoka, right?
Oh, the audiobook.
I finished the audiobook for Ahsoka.
Okay.
I read it before Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
Post Rise of Skywalker, way better.
Really?
It was a way better read.
Okay.
And I don't know, maybe it was the listening. I know Big Swede, when he was talking about it, he wasn't super impressed with the book, and because Ashley Eckstein does the read, and her doing men's voices is kind of like, it's a broad doing men's voices.
Right. And I walked into the bar.
Oh, it's naughty, it's really, it's like she tries to do it in the back of her, it's phrasing. So anyway, it's good. If you haven't started listening to it yet, I would start so that we can cover that, because there's definitely some some elements to that book that I think are going to be relevant to be talking about before we get into this next season of Clone Wars.
Now, it's my understanding that this takes place after the Clone Wars, the book.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
it does.
I got 5 fucking credits to use. So, yeah, I need to get on that.
Burn one of them. Make sure you didn't already buy it. But, yeah, there was elements to this that I was like, okay, as part of Ahsoka's story and where her story begins in that book. Mm-hmm. And then some of the elements that are covered, I genuinely had this feeling of this book had come out so far before Rise of Skywalker, and yet there was plot elements that I think were spot on with it. So that they almost would have had to looked into it. So it's definitely relevant, and
all right, yeah, I'll definitely give it a look.
And it's not that long. It's not that long of a book.
Okay. Another fucking sidebar. This is why I hate these fucking clickbait sites. Right? So ScreenRant.com, another fucking super clickbaity fucking website.
Yep.
Doing a little research after I got home from work today. I'm like, okay, can I find any quick Star Wars news to like throw in the fucking notes just to talk about in today's episode? And I see a fucking headline from Screen Rant from yesterday, right?
Okay.
And we're in February.
Right.
And they're like, the headline is "The mystery of Cypher Dyas and the creation of the clones finally explained in Star Wars." I'm like, click. And it's like,
ass.
In the recent fucking Dooku Jedi Lost audiobook, it's explained. And then I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure we talked about that in like fucking August.
Yeah.
Or whenever the fuck that came out. And this is a headline on your fucking stupid ass website yesterday. You fucking pieces of shit.
Fuck those sites, man.
Oh, God.
Fuck those sites.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I don't bother. That's why I deliberately went to StarWars.com and went scrolling through their news feed, see, hey, what are they posting?
Yeah.
And that's when I came up with the Kylo Ren thing, and that's the bloodline of our Star Wars lives runs through StarWars.com.
Yeah.
Which, sidebar to that sidebar, all these Star Wars related sidebars, what the fuck are we doing here?
I know, right?
Somebody, I forget who, Scott Rasmussen, I think, had picked up the Star Wars Insider for, apparently it's a special edition Star Wars Insider, that, you know, that magazine.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, well, you had that look on your face like you had no idea what I was talking about.
No, I'm like, where the fuck are you going with this? I know what
No, that looked like it had some good details in that too, which I stopped getting Star Wars Insider. Yeah. I picked it back up again when we were starting a podcast, and I shut it off again. But apparently you can get it at Barnes & Noble. So if you see something in there that's cool, Scott, let us know.
Yeah.
It's something we can talk about. But in the meantime, we got plenty to do. And
Was
go.
that all you had to say?
And go.
Oh my God.
Just
squirrel.
Yeah.
So, getting back to the episode, brothers, right? So Savage.
Brother!
Every time.
It's in my head, so it's got to come out.
Yeah, Savage, he like fucking jacks this fucking cargo ship. Like this guy that's on that planet where the diner was. He's like, "You're gonna take me to fucking planet fucking junkyard,"
which is basically a garbage truck.
Yeah, fucking planet garbage truck. Because
did you what system it's in?
I didn't catch it. No,
the Lethal system.
Okay, it was Lethal. I thought I heard him say that, but I'm like, did he say Lethal? Because when they got to the planet, I'm like, this isn't fucking Lethal.
It was the Lethal system.
Oh,
that's where he said
because,
it was.
Yeah, I did hear that, and I'm like, well, this definitely isn't the place. So I meant to go back and research and look at it, but time and whatnot. So yeah, he gets to fucking planet dump, and it's such a weird concept too, because it's like where I guess a lot of fucking planets go to dump their garbage, which is actually a brilliant concept.
Yeah.
Like, if you think about it. Like, if we had fucking light speed capability here on Earth, yeah, we'd be sending all of our fucking garbage to, like, fucking Saturn or something, you know?
Yeah.
We'd be just...
some
like,
place where it's just basically a hot molten core and just go...
Yeah.
Just fly fucking containers into the thing, let it burn up in somebody else's atmosphere.
Yeah, fucking Jupiter, here you go, you know? As opposed to, like, dumping it into our fucking oceans, which is apparently that's what we do. So...
Look. As soon as they figure out how to make that cost effective, I guarantee you they're going to be doing it. They'll fly right into the fucking sun if they need to.
Well, yeah.
Because
that's
it'll
ideal,
fucking go away then.
Yeah, that's the ideal solution. So.
One would say that the sun is kind of hot.
Yeah, that's what I hear. So anyway, that's a story for another time. But yeah, fucking Savage lands on this fucking garbage planet with all these fucking garbage walkers. He called them fire breathers, and they're these big fucking mechanical, spidery type things.
The Iron Giant. The mental image I got was from the Iron Giant, because even like the animation, like the way it panned back to show it. You know how the Iron Giant's like very like it's like this brownish red for all the scenes that it's in. That like so it pans back and it's like this brownish red fucking color, except for the fire coming out of his mouth. Like fuck, it's the Iron Giant. Okay. That's what it reminded me of anyway.
Yeah. But I mean, overall though, great animation throughout this whole episode. Like on Planet Garbage, for a planet that just like looks like fucking brown and dull and just fucking ugh. It looks great. Like again, we mentioned this last episode. The animation really picks up in these like seasons 3 and 4 and hopefully beyond. So this fucking talking snake comes up and there's this whole interaction with him and Savage. Yes, I felt the same way, I think. The note I even wrote here is Snake is annoying.
Snake is very annoying.
Yeah, so but he
it doesn't make any sense. Like for this snake creature in this like place, it's like, is it really hot? Is it really cold? Do we know? Giant talking like slithering snake person.
Like I would think it was hot because it's like all these fucking like smoldering piles of fucking garbage.
Yeah,
everywhere.
but how like snakes don't operate well in heat like that.
Right.
They just like just lay there. It's like, oh, it's so hot. They get their sun and they fucking go and they cool off.
This is not the planet Earth either. So, maybe reptiles on this planet.
Look, Savage is breathing perfectly fine.
Right. Well, fucking snakes don't talk on Earth either. So.
Did you pick up the, basically, hey, this is a trash planet. So guess what they also have? Fucking acid rain.
Right.
Like, there was an acid rain reference. I'm like, okay, acid rain hasn't been a thing since the 80s.
I was just thinking that, yeah.
I mean, the 80s, acid rain was such a thing.
I remember an episode of Different Strokes. Remember that show, Different Strokes,
yes.
with fucking Gary Coleman and all that? They had an episode about fucking acid rain.
What you talking about, Willis?
Yeah. So, yeah.
It's a Sofa King connection there, because they have a whole Gary Coleman thing.
Oh, yeah. Very big Gary Coleman thing.
I don't know why I made the dicks touching motion, but I did. Yeah.
But, yeah, no, like, that was the first thing I thought about. And, yeah, when they said acid rain, I'm like, who talks about that anymore?
No, nobody talks about acid rain anymore. Not that it's any less relevant. It's just nobody talks about it.
Right.
Think about the global warming discussion that we're not going to be having in 20 years. Just like acid rain.
Right.
Acid rain. Sorry, it popped in my head.
I love it. So, all right. So Snake traps fucking Savage. He leads him to this little fucking hut. Savage's necklace is like, woo, woo, woo.
Talisman. It's a talisman.
Whatever.
Not a necklace.
Don't be a fag. All right. So anyway,
it's specifics.
Anyway, the talisman's going crazy.
There you go.
And Maul's like, Savage. Spoiler alert.
Savage
is like, God damn, we're never gonna get through this. He's like, he's fucking here. Where is he? No, it was all a lie or a trap. And the snake's like, yeah, it was a trap. And he fucking pulls this, metal grate out from under him, and fucking Savage falls down a big pit.
Yeah, Savage, who's got basically the IQ of a fucking walnut.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know. He's like slamming into shit, throwing fucking stuff around. Why he doesn't just choke the shit out of the snake to fucking begin with is beyond me.
Yeah.
Like, I let snake live. Savage.
Yeah, so anyway, he falls down, and this is where we start getting the fucking, the little spider in the background, Savage is like, brother! Yeah.
Brother!
And you see, like, the silhouette of a spider at first in the background, and then you see the silhouette of, like, is there a name for it? Like, it's like a fantasy trope, right? The fucking, the humanoid torso with the fucking spider legs. I've seen that in, like, fantasy and shit like that. It's got to have a name.
I'm sure it does.
So you're seeing the silhouette of that in the background as he's, like, fucking looking around. At first you think it's just, like, some beast. Well, we know what it was, but
Right.
I would imagine when you're watching this for the first time, it's it's you're led to believe that this is some sort of fucking beast lurking in this underworld area, until it fucking pops out and it's the upper body of a Zabrak and the lower body of like mechanical fucking spider
Right.
type thing. So this is obviously the point where we're led to believe that this is Maul again, which goes back to my question in the beginning. Did we know, or did you folks know when this was aired for the first time that this was Maul? Because they didn't confirm it at this point. It was just the upper torso of a fucking red Zabrak with like bandages and shit around his like fucking waist. Clearly, we know what it was.
Listen, I have to believe that anybody who follows Star Wars, follows the prequels. Listen, when you see a Zabrak, you only know Darth Maul. It's just like Baby Yoda.
At least back then.
Right. It's just like Baby Yoda, though. Think about it that way. Like,
Yeah.
everyone looks at that and goes like, oh, well, that's Baby Yoda. Because, A, we don't have a species name for it. It just is what it is.
Right.
But people that are the casuals only are going to see that and say, oh, well, shit, that's Darth Maul. Even if it's not.
Right.
Like, you have to convince them that Savage isn't Darth Maul.
Well, even fucking Obi-Wan. Even Obi-Wan in the Night Sisters episode, we talked about this.
Yeah.
He saw the fucking hologram of Savage killing those Jedi. He's like, Darth Maul is alive? Even though his tattoos were completely different color.
Yep. Different color. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't the Hulk. I mean, Maul was never the Hulk.
Right.
Like, Savage is the fucking Hulk in this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm willing to bet that everyone, when they saw a Zabrak, made that jump to that it was Maul.
Yeah.
Because it makes sense.
Yeah, like what
it's
else
good
could it be?
television. I mean, fuck, beloved character. Stop honking your horn! Jesus Christ! Fucking Patco people working on the goddamn tracks on a Sunday night.
Yeah, like
blowing the
literally,
fucking horns.
50 feet that way. Yeah, so that's what you're hearing in the background.
They probably don't hear it. We just sound like idiots.
Maybe.
Or I sound like an idiot for yelling.
No, trust me. Like, Kristen's been complaining about it for like 3 days. She's like, I'm fucking honking all day.
Like, I just, there's no reason for it.
Yeah.
Why are they working on it at fucking, it's 30 degrees outside.
It's been around the clock fucking for, like I said, 3 days. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway. Yeah, so, yes, to mention your point, I'm pretty sure everybody made that leap. Especially when we see this fucking, again, upper torso of a fucking red Zabrak attached to these fucking mechanical legs. I'm sure everybody was like, that's fucking Maul, right? Which we know now. But, and to go back to what we were talking about before, his horns were like all fucking overgrown, kind of like if you like let your nails grow too long, you know, you don't clip them over time. That's what his fucking horns were. His upper body was real fucking lanky and just like fucking just all, you know, very just, it was pretty gross.
Yeah, it was. It had a very like feel to it.
And on top of all of this, Maul himself was just fucking out of his goddamn mind.
Oh yeah,
like he was just talking nonsense and bullshit. And Savage is just like, dude, what the fuck, man? Like, hey,
brother,
yeah,
brother.
It's me,
so
brother.
Fucking tired of hearing the word brother.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, overall, like the note I wrote in here is Maul is out of his fucking mind. Like he's like fucking batshit crazy at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the last scenes in this, I think it is the last scene in this, is that Yoda premonition that you talked about, right?
Right.
Yoda also experiences this fucking thing in the Force, and Yoda's like, Obi-Wan comes into the room, and Yoda's like, hey, I had this little Force premonition. Remember that guy that killed your master, Qui-Gon? And Obi-Wan's like, Darth Maul, he lives? How? And Yoda's like, yeah, he's fucking alive.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you didn't kill him good enough.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so distracted right now. I went and made the mistake of list of hybrid creatures in folklore.
Oh, no.
On Wikipedia.
Uh-huh.
Holy fuck if there isn't like 300 of these fucking things.
That many?
Dude, there's a shit ton of them.
My God.
I think every dungeon master from D&D has probably come up with some variation of some fucking combination of something.
Well, there's obviously the human upper body and the horse lower body.
Oh, dude.
Centaur?
Centauroid, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 variations of that.
Jesus.
And then there's human goat hybrids. Then human bird hybrids. Then human fish hybrids. Human snake hybrids. Other hybrids. I'm still trying to find. I know the spider is in here somewhere.
The snake one, I think of like Medusa from Clash of the Titans.
Here's a real original one. Scorpion man, half scorpion. Human-headed complex body, human with animal head, human with added animal parts. The list goes on and on here, dude. It's fucking crazy.
That's great. So anyway, to pivot back to the Clone Wars.
Yes, please get me out of here.
This last scene with Yoda and Obi-Wan was the confirmation. If there was any question up to this point, this was the confirmation that fucking character is Darth Maul at this point. So, and again,
brother,
that's why I want to know: was it ambiguous at this point? Did we not know up until the point where we saw this last scene where they confirmed, yes, this is Darth fucking Maul? So please, somebody, if you don't know in the fucking chat, somebody hit us up on social media who watched these fucking episodes as they aired and let us know.
Do you know?
Yes. Do you really want to know? Then moving right into the next episode, the season finale of season 4. This was Revenge. And Savage, he's able to subdue Maul. Jesus Christ, dude. You're killing me. He's able to subdue Maul, get him onto the cargo ship that he stole, and take him back to Dathomir. He takes him back to fucking Mother.
With the stolen fucking garbage truck.
Yeah, and he gets back, and apparently in the interim, while Savage was gone, fucking Dooku sent a whole force to Dathomir and tried to, wipe out the sisters.
Apparently he did.
Yeah.
He wiped out everybody except for the Mother.
Right. So, yeah, when Savage gets there, he's like, what the fuck? And Mother's like, yeah, Dooku came back. It's all right, we'll bounce back. So what you got? And then he,
yeah, don't worry about this mess.
Yeah, she really kind of blew it off.
Yeah, she's like, whatever.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, when you're playing the Dathomir map in Fallen Order, it's
that version.
Yeah, it's everyone's undead, basically. You're in a zombie version. Yeah. You're playing a Jedi zombie at that point.
Yep. So
Arachne. That's what the half man, half spider.
All right, 20 minutes later. Thanks. Appreciate that. So, yeah. And Mother does her fucking weird voodoo-y fucking spells, just like we saw when they, did the shit with Savage. They're doing the fucking eyes rolling back in their head, real fucking New Orleans voodoo shit.
Yeah, but she makes this fucking ball, here's this ball, follow this ball, and then Maul's like, follow the ball.
To get him out of the fucking ship.
Yeah.
Because he's hiding behind fucking crates.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah, that was really fucking weird. And yes, you did miss a whole John Williams discussion, Lunar Girl. Sorry about that. But, yeah, so they start doing their voodoo-y shit on Maul, and it, takes away the spider legs that he had. And it normalizes his upper body. Yeah, I know. It's fucking annoying.
It sounds like somebody's scoring a goal at a Flyers game.
And it's every 10 seconds. It's really annoying.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, his fucking horns normalize. I really hope they can hear this on the audio version of the episode. It's that fucking train horn that's going off non-fucking stop.
Oh, fuck, it was John Williams' birthday yesterday. God damn it. Because we don't do our day in Star Wars anymore. We totally missed that.
Oh.
Fuck.
You know what?
Thank you, Lunar Girl, for bringing that up.
Well, I was actually thinking about that. Since, we haven't been doing that for over a year now. Because we did it for over a year straight.
We did.
And then we were starting to get to repeats. So
thanks to my wife who gave us that idea in the first place.
Exactly, yes.
Credit where credit's due.
Right, and I don't think we ever didn't give her credit for that.
Well, I'm just doing it now to try and get brownie points. Obviously.
Right, obviously. But now that we have been doing it or not doing it for over a year, maybe it's time to get back into that. Or maybe a few months down the line after all the Clone Wars excitement and all that shit dies down and we're like, fuck, what are we going to talk about this week?
Yeah.
So, once things kind of mellow out, we can get back into that and maybe they've got new stuff to pop up.
Maybe.
So, we'll see.
Apparently they can't hear it. They can't hear the train horn.
All right, so it's just us being fucking weirdos.
Yeah,
on
but
air,
that's
so,
pretty standard.
Yeah. What the fuck was I talking about?
Oh
yeah, Mother
Clone
and her
Wars.
fucking voodoo. So anyway,
Okay.
yeah, Mother performs her fucking voodoo, makes Maul a new set of legs, normal-ish.
Magic legs.
Yeah, Lieutenant Dan, you got magic legs. So yeah, Maul is better at this point. He's less fucking crazy.
Right.
Has normal fucking legs. His horns are normalized.
He got a petted
Makeover, yeah.
no, what's the thing where they do the nails? What's that called?
Oh, pedicure.
Manicure. He got a manicure.
Yeah, manicure,
But not
for his,
Savage.
Yeah, for his fucking horns.
Yeah, fuck Savage.
Yeah.
Oh man, I hope he gets the fuck beat out of him. I was expecting Savage to not make it through this episode. I'm not gonna lie.
Well,
I figured Maul would have fucking taken care of him.
I'm pretty sure it's safe to say he's not gonna make it through this series.
Well, yeah, but
knowing what we know,
he shouldn't have made it through this fucking episode.
Right.
Savage.
But
because every time Maul is like the close in a Maul, you get the Savage in the background.
Do we?
Every time. Yeah. Have you listen to it again in the background, like when it does the pan in close of Maul's face, and it's suddenly like Savage.
All right, I'll have to pay closer attention. But now Maul is focused on fucking Kenobi. He's like, this is the motherfucker that cut me in half. He's the reason that I'm here. My anger for him is the only thing that kept me alive.
Revenge.
So, yeah. So, revenge, right? This is what, what he's been talking about. He wants his revenge on fucking Kenobi. So, they go to some fucking planet, and they're just like, all right, well, the way to draw the Jedi out is to just slaughter a bunch of innocents. So, they land, and there's a bunch of fucking kids right there. So, you're led to believe that they just slaughtered these kids.
Why were these kids running? Like, I felt like when I first saw it, I should have rewound it because I had the ability and just didn't think about it. But when I felt like the kids, they said like, oh, they knew who was coming. Like maybe it was the trash guy's fucking family. Like how much more devastating is that? Like, oh, look, daddy's home. Let's go run out to the fucking garbage truck. And all of a sudden there's some fucking weirdo with fucking spiky head and bad breath coming out there and just, I'm going to eliminate younglings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway.
So... yeah, and then he records like a hologram and sends it to the fucking Jedi Temple. Yoda and Obi-Wan are watching fucking Maul just like slaughtering people, calling out Kenobi, basically saying, "Come here, or I'll kill even more innocents."
And then Obi-Wan's like, I have to go.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no, I ain't going over there. I'd be like, yeah, no, fuck that bullshit.
Yeah, that would have been great. I would have loved to have seen that episode where Obi-Wan's like, "No, I got this thing."
Yeah, I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
I'll be out.
Yeah, sorry, bro. I can't really make it.
Yeah, dude, that fucking dude's nuts. I already killed him once. Fuck that guy.
Yeah. And, Mace Windu's like showing concern. He's like, you can't go out there just by yourself.
Which, oh, God, isn't there a better Samuel L. Jackson impersonator out there than they can get for the fucking guy who plays Mace Windu? I bet you that's not even a fucking black guy. I bet you it's some white guy doing a black guy. I'm going to have all this fucking moral outrage.
Somebody should look that up on IMDb. But either way, Yoda mentions that he...
hit the clock, 20 minutes.
That he expects that Obi-Wan will have an unexpected ally when it comes to this. And...
who's definitely not Maul?
What?
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 What? What?
Sorry, squirrel.
In the chat, Big Sweet said definitely not Maul.
Yeah,
like
whatever.
What were we talking about?
They confirmed it. What are you talking about? So yeah, and then Yoda says he'll have an unexpected ally and cue fucking Ventress because the next fucking scene is her again in that seedy fucking bar that we saw, and like all these bounties popping up.
Yep.
And one of them was fucking Savage, and she's like, "I'll take that one."
Notice there was a Rudanian in there.
I did not notice that.
Yeah, there was a Rudanian in the bar. And the planet they're on, what I think was Rodinia. I'm pretty sure.
Or Rodian.
Savage's Discount Mall. Yeah. Savage is Kirtland brand mall.
Oof.
And if you're a Rick and Morty fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I like Kirkland brand stuff. But anyway.
You have to see the latest Rick and Morty season.
I've only seen one Rick and Morty episode.
Well, it's a Meeseeks reference.
Is it?
It's a Kirtland brand Meeseeks.
Get the fuck out.
They hit the box and it costs. I was like, what do you want? It's fucking great.
Oh, man.
Dude, if you're not watching the latest Rick and Morty, you're missing out.
When am I going to have time?
We watch it at work. We watch it at work.
Right. Some of us can't fucking watch TV at work.
So we got a new evaluator, right? Assigned to DOV. Or CCV. And if we fucking she hadn't seen Rick and Morty. Like she's only caught like part of one episode, kind of like you. We're like, well, guess what? Start the marathon. So we had this CeeLo. It's in there. Like, yep, cue it. So we just had it fucking run.
Yeah. Right.
So, yeah. So it's been on in the background for all this week, and it's been busy as fuck too. So, and having to pause it kind of gets in the middle of it, but that's a rather personal question.
I gotta know these things.
All
right, hold on. Hold on.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah. That's really what I want to know. So.
Anyway, Kirtland brand Meeseeks.
Nice.
Yeah, you got to catch up on it. You got. There's so much Star Wars out there, but if you can sneak in some Rick and Morty, totally worth it. Fucking great show. Great show. We could do a whole podcast just on Rick and Morty.
I'm sure we could.
Just the science of Rick and Morty would be brilliant.
Is there actual science?
No, but it's Rick. It's Rick science.
Yeah.
Like try and figure out his interdimensional travel and how all that fucking shit works. Anyway.
Okay, let's finish up these episodes.
But we digress.
Obi-Wan goes to the planet, gets fucking jumped by Maul and Savage. Like he knew Maul was going to be there, wasn't expecting Savage.
Right.
Savage shows up, he's like, "You," and he gets his fucking ass beat.
Right.
So they grab him, throw him into that fucking cargo ship. They're taking him somewhere. I don't remember where they were taking him at this point, but they're kicking the shit out of him in the fucking
I don't know where they were
ship.
taking him.
Yeah, I don't know if they even said, but basically Maul's just like, I'm gonna make you like suffer the most painful fucking death imaginable. Fuck you.
Basically, death by 1,000 cuts type type shit.
The whole time Obi-Wan's being his sassy self, and he's like, "Is that all you got? What the fuck?" So he's taking it all in stride.
As good as he can.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it really comes down to
he's still getting his ass kicked.
Yeah, he's getting his ass handed to him, and in the beginning, it's
Really? Okay. All right.
In the beginning, it's like the he's getting his ass beat to the point where he can't even fucking talk shit.
Yeah.
And then he starts getting once Ventress shows up, he finds himself a little bit.
Yeah.
And of course they have a little bit of flirtingness between fucking Asajj and Kenobi.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Yeah, don't flatter yourself. I got a girlfriend, so
Right.
And she's fucking pink, so whatever."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we get this really cool battle between Obi-Wan and Ventress against Maul and Savage.
Right.
So really cool sequence that lasts, I don't know, it felt like it lasted about 10 minutes. So, and the answer is yes. So, yeah, really cool sequence. Ultimately, I think Obi-Wan even made a comment to Ventress. He's like, "Hey, can we take a page out of your book and like run away like bitches?"
Yeah, basically. Yeah, hey, works for you.
Right.
And she's like, "You know what? You're not funny."
Yeah. So
I think that's what she says, like, "You're not funny."
Right.
No.
So they beat feet to like the fucking cockpit, which is basically also acts like a fucking skate pod.
Right.
So they escape out of there.
How convenient.
Yeah. And just like
I can't believe that. Oh god, I hope you can hear that on the podcast.
Yeah, but just like fucking Ventress and General Grievous, they run away like bitches and get away from Maul and Savage, and that's kind of where the episode ends. Yeah, awesome battle was the last note I had in that.
Yeah, there was. I really enjoyed the lightsaber battle in this.
It was
Hang on, I'm Scott Rasmussen sent me a message showing. Let's see, Mace Windu is in fact a black man.
Oh.
So good job.
All right, so you are a racist.
Is that what makes me a racist?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. It's all right. Everything makes everybody a racist in today's world.
I'm
so it's
definitely a misogynist. I don't know about a racist.
fine. Yeah. Again, this is
I don't think
it's 2020, man. Everybody's racist. So
I don't. Yeah. Okay.
anyway, moving on. So that's the episode. It was 2 pretty good episodes. This was mostly the reintroduction of Darth Maul. I think the brothers episode wasn't as good. There were parts that were actually kind of annoying with the fucking talking snake.
Yeah.
And then Maul being just like fucking batshit crazy. So
No, actually, see, I disagree. I think that Maul being so obviously, like, he's not connected with the Force. He's survived. He survives based on, like he says it. He survived based on his hate. Yeah. He wants his revenge against Kenobi. Like, that's all he's been thinking about. And that's what made him be able to survive the fucking being cut in half and falling into a bottomless pit.
Yeah.
Which, dare I say again, somebody who falls into a pit who's allegedly dead, yet lives, a.k.a. Phasma.
Oh, Jesus
a.k.a. Phasma. I will not let this go, people.
Who has no force powers whatsoever.
I will let...
she will not
You don't
survive
know?
it.
You don't know? She flew on giant fucking birds in her home planet.
No.
There was giant bird things. Remember? There was a whole thing.
I remember, but that doesn't mean that she has force powers.
Whatever.
Yeah, Phasma is dead.
Apparently Finn has force powers.
He does.
And why can't Phasma?
Because we know her backstory, and nowhere in that Phasma novel or comics did it ever insinuate that she might even be remotely
I beg to
in touch
differ.
with the Force.
I'm going to write a screenplay, and I'm going to send it to Disney. And I'm going to be like, hey,
Phasma movie.
The Phasma movie.
Phasma, a Star Wars story.
Phasma. With Phasma and Savage. It's the worst perfume line ever.
Yeah.
Phasma and Savage.
Yeah.
We'll get, what's his nuts? Johnny Depp. Like, get him to dress up like Savage.
Yeah, we'll get him to do that.
We'll get him to do, well, he'll dress up like Savage. He'll have a bunch of fucking, have all his jewelry on and fucking
he does
the big flowing thing.
Like characters and big costumes and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
I think that's the natural Johnny Depp.
Yo.
That's the fucking pirate guy is muted compared to what he is in real life.
Imagine a Tim Burton Star Wars movie. How weird would that fucking be?
You could just do the cantina.
Yeah.
You just do the cantina, and that would be the fucking movie.
Oh my god! Fucking Kathleen, get on it. Hire Tim Burton to make, I don't know, some sort of Star Wars story.
That would be weird. It would definitely be weird.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a stretch for. Well, I don't know.
Danny Elfman to do the soundtrack, you know.
Fuck Danny Elfman.
What?
Fuck Danny Elfman.
He does great music.
He's no John Williams.
No, of course not. But John Williams is gone. Like for all intents and purposes, John Williams is dead.
No, he is not. He is not.
He's done with Star Wars.
Allegedly.
He's like 90.
You don't know.
It's on Wikipedia.
It was just his birthday. He's still kicking it.
How old was he yesterday?
I don't fucking know. I didn't even know it was his birthday until fucking old girl said it.
I want to say 89. Like, I want to say, like, he was, like, 88 when,
okay,
Rise came out and all that. But anyway,
listen, he's rich. He has all the miracles of modern science. He could be He could be one of those heads like in Futurama. He would be one of those guys you put in a fucking head so that his genius can live on. Do you know? Somebody said to me, the one guy at work, he said that I guess there was a documentary about how the orchestrator that works with John Williams is like the unsung hero, and like how all those things kind of come together. Mm-hmm. Like, so you write all the music, and then how the music all flows together is like this guy.
Right.
And there's apparently a documentary about it, which I'm like,
he's been Williams' guy for
apparently he's been the guy for this whole time, but he's like, nobody knows about him because John Williams is the guy.
Because I do think about it in the context, like you think about like an entire score, like all the different instruments, how everything's got to work together. Mm-hmm. And you're like, is one guy really writing all of the notes for all those interacting instruments and everything?
I would imagine it. I would imagine there has to be somebody. There has to be for every good writer. There's a good editor or publisher.
Right,
It's you have to have that. That one level of brilliance just doesn't exist. Not taking anything away from John Williams, because that was my initial reaction, like fuck you for disparaging John Williams. But in reality, that makes sense. It makes sense if you've got this is my team. John Williams is the guy. He's the guy out there fucking conducting the music.
Right.
Because everyone knows who John Williams is. Nobody knows who the first fucking violinist is.
Yep.
Nobody knows the percussionist. You know that there's a percussionist there, but you don't know his name. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So the orchestra is always the unsung, like how the London Philharmonic fucking plays this music, or the Boston Pops. It's going to be way better than the fucking Triton Regional High School fucking marching band out there trying to do this bullshit. Mm-hmm. So I believe that there's probably somebody in his collaboration team that helps make all these things work, and the sound editors that make all this stuff, and the people, like, they're writing score. They're writing a 10-minute long piece that you're going to take sections out of, and those crescendos generally are written for a particular scene, but there's ebbs and flows in the whole thing. So yeah, there's a level of editing and everything else that you have to appreciate, but I mean,
yeah,
it's all you've got 4 or 5 decades worth of movie scores with John Williams' name on it that are fucking brilliant.
Oh yeah,
absolutely brilliant. And I'm joking about the Danny Elfman thing because of the whole Family Guy reference, like, oh, we got to do the whole thing with Danny Elfman, and he cuts his head off. But those, again, we start this episode with John Williams. I could talk about John Williams all fucking day, because I've been listening to it all day. The fucking shit is just, it's so good. It's so good to listen to.
Brilliant. He's brilliant. Or him or his team or whoever.
Look, it's his name. It's fucking signed on it. So I feel comfortable giving him that level of credit. That
and he deserves
the shit that he does.
He deserves it. But obviously, nothing can get done without a team. So I'm sure there are some unsung heroes, in these soundtracks. But ultimately, it is John Williams' project.
Lunar Girl says she thinks he turned 88 yesterday.
Okay, so he was 87 before, but still, he's getting up there.
Yeah, he's getting up there.
Right. So anyway, that closes out this week's analysis of the Clone Wars. Next week, we are looking at some season 5 episodes. More stuff relating to Darth Maul, the Maul Returns, I guess, arc is what it's called. We'll probably have to shove some more episodes in there, only because I think we only have one more episode of this podcast before season 7 comes out.
Yeah, so
we may have to kind of prioritize. Like, do we even care about the Maul stuff, or do we want to look at the Ahsoka and the Yoda stuff to kind of close out?
Not having seen the episode yet, so it's really tough for me to make a judgment call on that. I think if we stick to it and just go like, all right, we're going to do, here's this Maul stuff. Cool. I don't think the Maul stuff is nearly as important in season 7.
Right.
Because although maybe it is.
Well, we know what happens with Maul after the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Right? Because we get more of him in Rebels. So
we do.
Do we really need more of that now? Like, I'm not discounting these episodes. They're probably good episodes. Obviously, they were in this list.
Right.
But I feel like the Ahsoka stuff and then the Yoda stuff is going to be more relevant overall to Star Wars canon, because I think we've briefly talked about what happens in the Yoda arc.
Yeah, and listen, we know that Ahsoka has a large role in, like, she's in the trailer for season 7 as being like, fucking boom, here's Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Here she is with her fucking white lightsabers. So I think that our focal energy is better served to go over the Ahsoka book, talk about the highlights in that before our analysis on the new season.
Really?
Yeah.
Even if it means that our review of like episode 1 of the new season is late to the...
Well, let's episode 1's coming out, what, February 17th?
Yes, which is like fucking...
It's the 9th now.
8 days from now.
Right. So...
we have one episode of the podcast between now and then.
So I would think that we could probably... excuse me. I think we should do the podcast on Monday because we're off.
Tomorrow?
No, the next Monday.
Oh, okay. As opposed to Sunday.
As opposed to Sunday.
Okay.
Do that, and then we can. Oh wait, that's next week.
A week from tomorrow. Yeah.
This is probably stuff we should probably talk about offline and not.
Instead we're doing it
not.
live.
Yeah, we're doing it live. Fuck it.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Just stay tuned. We know we've got season 7 right around the corner. We're gonna try to wrap up this retrospective before then, as well as integrate the Ahsoka book. And
all right, let's do it this way. I think it's more important to grab the bull by the horns because the episode's going to come out on that Monday, right, the 17th.
Mm-hmm.
So since we're off that day, let's watch the episode. We can even watch it in here, right? And then hop on, give our analysis of it, and then the next week after that, we'll do Ahsoka,
the book,
and because listen, we made it through this much of our lives without the Clone Wars.
Sure.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I think it's good to watch the rest of those episodes if we have time for it.
Oh yeah.
Like, because they're not that long. I mean, let's be fair.
Like my dick.
Yeah. That's
Wait, never mind.
Phrasing. They're not that long of episodes, and I think that we can get the ones, the greatest hits. I would probably even just fast forward to like the last episode of season 6. Because I feel like there was such a break between when season 6 of the Clone Wars stopped. Like, okay, now it wasn't 100% that, what's that rattle?
It's you pounding on the table.
Well, what's rattling now?
My microphone stand, for starters.
And this thing.
Jesus Christ, Dave.
Well, shock mount this shit. God damn it.
When do I have time to do that?
I don't know.
You explain to me. When? And do I even have the know-how to do something like that?
Sure you do.
Do you really trust me to shock mount our fucking microphone
We did
stands?
it. We did it in a jet. You were part of that. All right. Never mind. Anyway, we made it through this much of our. I'm probably going to watch the last couple episodes of season 6.
Yeah.
And then we could even do it here.
Yeah.
We could watch the fucking season 6, like the last episode.
Yeah.
And the point I was trying to make before you distracted me was it's been a long time coming. Like there was no guarantee that we were going to get a season 7.
Right.
Season 6, the way the series cut off, it was just we're done.
Yeah.
Like
they got no series finale or anything.
Right. So the way it was cut off, I don't know that we're going to get a real great lead into season 7 anyway.
Right. And ultimately, for me, my concern is releasing this review of these episodes when they're relevant, because we got a big boost from Rise of Skywalker when we did the review. Like right after that, we got a really good boost on our download numbers and everything else, and I want to keep that momentum going. That's why I think
Empire stuff, lots of Empire stuff,
but I think we would be doing ourselves a disservice if we don't strike this iron while it's still hot.
So I say we got the day off on Monday. Come over, fucking make an episode of it. We can even watch the last episode of season 6. Go right into season 7, and then boom, we'll jump over here and we'll do the pod.
Okay.
So, ladies and gentlemen out there in the podcast world, listen for us on. If you're watching us live on YouTube, we're gonna do it on. On Monday. So the day of the premiere of.
Yes, we will record and post an episode that night.
I mean, you're jumping good over here.
Yeah, well,
now you are.
Sometimes I just have to reseat the cannon plug.
Yeah, that's so weird. It only happens
back to our maintenance days.
Yeah, it's so weird. It happens on your side.
Fucking, just fucking.
Nice close up of your fucking face. Get my face.
All right, so I think that's where we're gonna close this.
Yeah.
Stand by on next week's episode.
No, Monday. What? We're gonna do it on Monday.
Sure.
Yes. Monday.
Yes.
Time TBD. 3 p.m.
Right. Yeah. It's like President's Day or something, right?
It is. It's President's Day.
Yeah.
Not Precedence Day.
Oh, that's...
President's Day.
Oh, I always thought it was Precedence Day.
What?
We set a precedence as being the greatest country in the world.
I like that way better.
That's not what it is?
Let's fucking do that.
It's Precedence Day from now on.
Dude, subreddit, Precedence Day.
I love
Let's fucking do it.
I made that up on the fly. That's just...
Yeah, I did. Look at he's fucking brilliant.
Okay, sure. All right, we're closing this out.
You hear how ridiculous that sounds when I say it?
Yes, it's so patronizing. It's like not even funny. But anyway, we're gonna go.
Savage.
All right. So thanks everybody for joining us in the chat. Thank you to all of our audio listeners. Please, again, let us know how you found this podcast. Let us know what apps you're listening to us on. Reach out to us on social media, Instagram, all things Star Wars Pod.
Yes.
All things Star Wars Pod on Instagram.
Twitter, it's all things SW Pod.
Yes.
Because we're limited in character space.
Yes, because fuck Twitter. But I use it right now, which is weird. Check us out on the private Facebook group, the Sidebar Cantina.
Yep.
Just search Sidebar Cantina, all things Star Wars. You'll find us.
Yep.
And if we like you, we'll let you in.
Go to podbelly.com. You can find us there. And you can find a whole bunch of other really good podcasts. And go to podbelly.com. Check out our boys at the All Things Star Wars Presents, the Escape Pod.
Yep.
Jason said he's going to hopefully post out their Ready Player One episode.
Yep.
Which I haven't listened to yet.
I didn't get to watch their live stream, so
yeah.
I totally missed that.
I'll be honest with you. I want our pod to get, because they're on our feed.
Yes.
So I figure to get to download, I'll actually listen to it because I'm in between books right now too. So since I finished Ahsoka, I don't have another book lined up, so I'll catch up on some podcasts I haven't listened to. So I'll listen to those guys.
Check out Used and Abused podcast with our good friend Scott Rasmussen and his lovely wife Kim.
Which he stated in here, if he does a John Williams episode, that I'll get to be on it.
Ooh.
And my nipples are hard. I fucking talk about John Williams. It's fucking great.
Well, I would look forward to that episode.
That would be awesome. That'd be the first time that I've ever
done a podcast without me.
Yes.
Yeah, you've never done a podcast that I wasn't part of.
Because I was the guest spot on the Project VCR.
Yep.
So, and then, that's it.
Yeah, you've never branched out and done your own
I have
thing,
not.
So.
See, I'm the color guy. I'm the color guy for this. Like, I don't have my ear to the ground for all the other podcast shit.
I would be very curious to hear how you do on a show without me to kind of lead you and tee you off in all of this. So.
Probably horrible. Scott, don't do it. It's probably going to be the worst ever. Yeah. Okay. That was an old.
What was that?
Oh no! I saw this. I'm like, did that just happen?
Oh my god!
There's no timestamp on the chat.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, and Luna Girl listens via YouTube and Apple. So.
I think that's where most of everybody's at.
Yeah.
Is on Apple. So, but if you're on Apple and you're on the fucking iTunes, how about a 5-star review?
Yes.
What
please,
the fuck? There's no new 5-star reviews.
Oh,
I checked it earlier.
Ah, damn it. All right. Yeah.
5-star reviews.
It really helps us out.
I would like the Brothers Fett have a YouTube channel.
I noticed that. Yeah.
It's oh shit. I forgot. Sorry guys. I don't remember. I subscribed to it after I saw something they posted. Just like as Bronco Fett said, just the two brothers just bullshitting. So
two bros sitting in a hot tub.
Brother.
Feet apart because it's not gay.
And they don't curse and do other things that we do, but they have their own YouTube channel. And look, there's so much content out there, and everybody that you might come across at one point or another, give them the courtesy, give them a reach around, subscribe, give them a thumbs up, fucking 5-star reviews, all that good stuff. That's how we get our stuff out there to the people, and you will do it. What are you doing?
Texting, sorry.
Really?
Sorry, go ahead.
I can't. I'm enthralled. I need to know what you're texting about.
Texting about how much I hate you.
I doubt it.
Anyway.
That's it. That's all I got nothing.
This is like a train wreck of an ending.
You completely derailed me here at the end. There was nothing in the notes about an ending. This is why you shouldn't let me fucking put together an episode. It's just horrible.
And see, this is what you're in for, Scott. So good luck with that.
I did. I'm sure that I would be fine. I'll just drop into a different persona and we'll be good.
Yeah.
I'll be totally good.
It's good shit. All right. Well.
Oh, I didn't get to read the second episode's.
It's way
voice guy.
It's
too late now.
Late for that.
We can't edit it into the no, too late.
No.
Fuck.
I barely edit as it is.
Fuck.
I didn't even edit all the bullshit of me.
Stupid Spin Video Brothers. Stupid Spin Videos.
Stupid Spin Videos. Check them out on YouTube.
On YouTube.
Do it. And until next time, Dave and everybody else, may the force be with you.
May the force be with you. Okay, now what do I click?
All right.
I don't think I've ever listened to that.
You saying that?
Yeah.
Ever?
I don't think I ever have.
You fucking kidding me?
No.
What are you, fucking retarded?
Yeah. I don't really think I've ever listened to myself do voices.
You know what I forgot to do?
Start the audio?
No. This was episode 137. I missed it. Now I have to wait a fucking 100 episodes before I can do it again. God damn it.
That'll go by quick.
Yeah, apparently. I remember when we did episode 37.
Yeah.
So.
Jesus.
Christ. I think I was. Was I gone at that point?
Not for 37. I don't think you were away yet.
Okay.
I say that seeming like I know it.
Yeah, no, it's
y'all should have a new 5-star review from Kim for next week's show. Okay.
Oh, perfect. Thank you, Kim.
Awesome. Thank you, Kim.
You are the best.
We could use one from Lunar Girl.
Yes, please.
If we don't already have one.
Self-admitted on iTunes. So.
Sweet Studios, you have 3 different online personas. We could get 3 5-star reviews from you. Considering I don't think we even have one.
No, we got one from him on iTunes.
No, it wouldn't be on iTunes. He's not an Apple guy.
What?
He's a Google Play guy.
What is he, fucking retarded?
Yes. He's got 3 YouTube channels. He's Swede 3.0 now.
I respect that.
Let's see. Yeah, I know. God.
I could have swore we had something from him.
Not on iTunes. And that's the thing, like with Google Play, like can they leave 5-star reviews on Google Play? Do we have a bunch of them we don't know about?
There is a review system on there. I don't even have the app, honestly.
Neither do I. Let's see. Let's see if I can get to it. Let's go to Tango. Oh, shit. Google Play. Let's see. Wow, look at all these things I don't have any of. Ever seen the movie Dave?
Who?
Dave's not here.
No, I haven't.
It's actually really good.
Is it?
Let's see. All things Star Wars podcast. I could probably drag this over here so I'm not blocking our fucking chat screen. Let's see.
There it is.
There it is. It took all day, but there's no review system on the podcast app.
Oh. That's fucking
Fact is, I put All Things Star Wars podcast in the Google Play, and it doesn't even pop up.
Really?
Yeah. What the fuck, man? Oh, it's so annoying. Let me see. Is there... So, all right, Google people. So, there's a podcast app, you're saying, for Google.
Yes. Well, it's Google Play.
Yeah, but there's... How do you find us in Google Play?
I don't know.
I feel like this is something we probably should have figured out like 130 episodes ago.
Right. Yes, you're...
How about I just put podcasts in? Let's see what comes up.
What
Google
I'm
Podcasts.
gonna piss.
Blue Skidoo, you can do. Google Podcasts. Discover free and trending podcasts. Thank you, Lunar Girl. All right. So I have to install a Google app into my already overly slow machine. This Google account is not yet associated with the device. Fuck you. God. It's the worst. Have you out there seen Dave? The movie Dave? Very underrated movie. I argue it's oh fuck, I can't even think of the dude's name now. Shit. The guy who was in A Fish Called Wanda. He's also the lead. Oh, God damn it. Squirrel. IMDb Dave. Came out in 1993. And it's got Sigourney Weaver in it. And the lead character's name is Kevin Kline. Kevin Kline is Dave. He's some random guy who looks like the president. The president dies, fucking some fucking whore. And they bring the Dave guy in. And he's oh, I'm the president. Brr, 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 brr. Some good lines in there.
Figure it out.
No. I went on a completely different tangent about Dave. Because
Who?
Dave's not here. No, it's more like, Dave's not here.
Who is it?
It's me, Dave. I got the stuff.
Who?
It's me, Dave. I got the stuff, man. Open the door.
Dave?
Yeah, it's Dave. God, open
Dave's not here.
Yeah, Kevin Kline. I was making a comment about how it's Kevin Kline's best role since A Fish Called Wanda.
Yeah.
Is the movie Dave.
Okay.
This makes me wish it makes me miss your Project VCR thing because there's so many movies out there that it'd be fun to do.
Oh, yeah.
Not that we have fucking time.
No, but
Meanwhile, you're doing all this. I'll leave you a 5-star review on my kid's iPhone. Yes, you do that,
yeah,
Swede.
I had all kinds of movie ideas for Project VCR that never came to fruition.
Yeah, some fucking wanker.
Yeah, because when the co-host stops talking to you, it's
fucking some people's political agendas. They just can't put that shit aside.
Yeah. What can you do, right?
Dude, this is not. I need ice.
Oh.
To cut it because it's.
Yeah. I'm always afraid one of these days, like, I'm going to get a call from Kathy, like, after we record. She's like, Dave had a DUI! You motherfucker!
I will not get a DUI.
Right.
I'm not drinking that much.
I know.
So good. What hit your lips?
So, by the way, Avery Morgan, also a patron of Sofa King Podcast.
Nice!
So, that's obviously where he found us. So, gotta love it. Gotta love that Sofa King connection. So, cool. So
are you finished downloading, or is it still downloading?
Yeah, everything's done.
Nice.
So all we have to do is.
How long was that episode?
See, why would you ask me something like that? Because I've already closed everything.
Honestly, I could just go like this to see. Oh, it was 2 hours and 10 minutes ish.
Yeah. So.
Jason famously starts the episode with, "Oh, this isn't going to be that long."
It was 2 episodes of the Clone Wars. How long could it actually be? And then,
I think people would be disappointed if we weren't giving them 2 hours.
I know.
I retro listened to Project VCR about a year ago and I liked it.
Oh.
I thought it was good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean,
even without me on it.
Yeah, right. Well, those were the better episodes, but I mean, yeah, realistically, Doug was so knowledgeable about movies. Like, he knew so many just like crazy details.
He was an encyclopedia of those type of things.
One of the biggest problems I had with the show was it was never that lighthearted, right? You and I were very lighthearted. We joke a lot.
Right.
We have a lot of fun with this. That was Project VCR was just very like fact.
Yeah.
Me leading into the discussion, Doug spouting off all this, these facts about the movies it was very interesting, but there was no humor to it. There was no.
Yeah, there's only so much I can take of it. Like, well, this particular set design was in the 16:1 ratio, and this is like who cares?
Yeah, there was no fun banter like you and I have.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, banter was definitely not Doug's thing.
Yeah, which is why
super knowledgeable though.
Yeah,
super knowledgeable.
Yeah, but when you came on and we started doing the Star Wars stuff and we were having the back and forth, that was the genesis of all things Star Wars. It was those seeds were planted, and it became very obvious. Like there's something here. Like we can do more with this outside of Project VCR. So yeah, that was good.
It was. There's definitely like I've had these stray ideas, these like little strands of my fucking in my brain for like, oh man, it'd be fun to do. Like Bill Burr, right? Bill Burr started his podcasting because we were talking about Joe Rogan and his podcast. Bill Burr's Monday morning podcast, really, really popular.
Yeah.
And it's just him. Every once in a while, he'll have somebody else on, or he'll have his wife come in, and his wife comes in and busts his fucking balls for fucking 10 minutes and then takes off. But I've had these Keith Lehman. You know, Lehman, he gets in his car and fucking records or sits down and records and just rants for fucking so many minutes. I'm like, I have this like straight thought. I was like, oh, it'd be so much fun to do that.
Yeah.
But I already have too many. Like, the thing that makes this work is that as much as there's no structure, for those of you who are still watching, as much as there's no structure, it's structure. There is definitely structure. Like we have
in our schedule, in our weekly schedules. Like we allot this time every week.
We have the schedule. We have a basic format of what the show's going to be, and like we can kind of fall into that. When all else fails, even when we're doing it live, we maintain that structure. And I think that's why I can survive in it and be able to jump in and out of it. Otherwise, if I add one more structured event into my fucking schedule, it would collapse. It'd be this like implosion of just, I won't leave the house.
I'm the same way, man. I've had a million other ideas. Like, oh, I'd love to do this on YouTube. I'd love to do this other kind of podcast, but it's just, I don't have the bandwidth to do that. You know, it's
bandwidth. Oh my God, the most overused term in the fucking in the military right now is bandwidth.
I work in a cyber squadron.
I know, but it's totally appropriate, and I've heard it used mainly appropriately, but like when I hear it used inappropriately, it's just like I feel like we need a new word because now it's like high speed. Remember, everyone was high speed. Yeah. Everyone's high speed, low drag. So you got some fucking comm troop talking about being high speed and low drag, and like, all right. Now we need a new thing, because when the fucking nonners are using it, now it's time for us to fucking move on.
It's like with kids when your parents start using Facebook, it's like it's time for me.
Yeah, no, we're gonna go ahead and use Snapchat, and we're gonna make sure that we fucking really fuck it up so the adults can't use it at all. Yeah, see, and the escape pod, like those guys have the structure.
Wednesday nights, this is when we're doing this for this time.
And this is how we're going to cover it. I'm looking forward to listen to the escape pods. Their look on the book I just read.
Ahsoka?
No, right for that one.
Ready Player One?
Yes, that one.
What is this week's topic, by the way, for the escape pod?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Escape pod?
Yeah. What is it?
Salsky?
Yeah.
What are you doing? We're waiting.
Yeah.
We're waiting.
Well.
Oh, man. I watched some golf yesterday. This is how fucked up my brain was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So I was trying to do calculus, and my brain's just like, like you talk about just no bandwidth at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, all right, I'm going to fold laundry. Like, I did all kinds of weird shit. I finally took the Christmas lights off the fucking house, took the dog out to the fucking dog park, and came back, like folded laundry, and I still could not fucking sit down in front of the computer and get into it. So I ended up playing Battlefront. But I was watching golf while I was folding laundry, and I'm a golfer. I enjoy watching golf. I enjoy watching the players that can do those. It's like the people that claim that golf isn't a sport. It's really comes down to like, you don't think it's a sport because you don't understand what the best, like if you're watching golf on TV, it looks really easy.
Sure.
What they do is so fucking hard. Like see, at least there's a train associated with this horn.
Yeah.
Top 5 lightsabers. Top 5 reasons we Star Wars.
I like it. Everybody loves the top 5 list.
Everyone's, yeah. I probably wouldn't do both 2 top 5s in the same episode though.
Yeah, unless you're gonna split them into 2 separate episodes.
Yeah, 2 separate episodes would be good. Just Just throwing it out there.
Me, we've proven that you can do a top 5 list and stretch it into a 2-hour episode.
You can indeed. So. You can. You just have to be willing to fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm watching golf and like it's the Pro-Am over in Pebble Beach in Monterey.
Yeah.
And Bill Murray's out there fucking goofing off and doing his Caddyshack thing, and it made me think about like how universal Bill Murray is, and especially for his role in Caddyshack, because even if you don't play golf, almost everybody knows Caddyshack. They know that fucking character, and I guarantee you that golf gets a spike in viewership during this Pro-Am because they know Bill Murray's going to be in it. And he's going to be fucking, he goes and he walks over to people in the crowd and does goofy shit, fucking wears goofy shit. He's got his own clothing line. You know, it's a golf. Yeah, he's got his own, it's for golf clothes.
That's
his own golf clothing line. And I'm sure he makes $1 million just from that because people are into it. Like, because he'll always be fucking the guy in Caddyshack.
Yeah.
It's a character's name I can't think of right now.
Oh, God, I don't remember either.
I think the heavy stuff's coming down for quite a while.
Which, by the way, the skateboard guys never acknowledged my request for a topic idea with the Groundhog Day stuff, so a little sad about that.
when you talk,
you got the big lip. And
you gotta talk out like this.
Yeah.
Big header llama.
I just remember him dropping like the fucking plastic explosives in the fucking gopher hole.
Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here.
That's good shit.
Kill all the gophers.
We're gonna do a Star Wars episode every 5th week. That's the plan anyway. All right, well, good on you guys. Hey, by the way, Escape Pod guys, when I did Google search or I did the Spotify search, there is an Escape Pod podcast that's out there.
Yes.
So, and they're on Google. They're they're on Spotify.
Mm.
So we got to make sure our shit fucking gets in there.
Yeah. Thankfully, ATSW presents the Escape Pod starts with A.
True.
So alphabetically.
But if ATSW is not on fucking Spotify right now, then that's not gonna work.
I don't know how the fuck. Like Scott said, he's on Spotify.
Right. I don't know why.
Pod,
and I don't know if it's
not the Escape Pod, but Use and Abuse.
Use and Abuse.
I know things.
Yeah, we talked about it in week 1 right at the top. Yeah, no, agreed. My concern is I don't want our shit to get lost. And if people aren't necessarily digesting podcasts through iTunes, I want to make sure that Libsyn is giving us like, hey, we're supposed to be on these fucking these players.
Mm-hmm. Did you search since I went in and did the little fuckery with the app there?
That was
Libsyn?
In Google Podcasts.
No, Spotify.
Hang on, let me look. I think I got Spotify on my computer.
You don't have the app? Like, how do you fucking listen to it?
You're an app. Hang on.
I'm not an app. There is not an app for this.
Yeah, there is. It just lags.
Wow.
So does mine. I'm not.
Yeah, and apparently they addressed my question in episode 4 of the Escape Pod, which is all the more reason for me to post it and listen to it.
Yes.
I'm going to try to get to it tonight. If not, then I'll try to do it first thing tomorrow.
The All Things.
Well, first, don't start with the. Just do All Things Star Wars.
No, because it's... Pod. Low power. Thank you. Stupid piece of shit. Yeah, nothing. See all podcasts. Newcomers, Blast Points, Star Wars Underworld, blah, 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 blah. All these fucking nerds. I have to say that we are better nerds than all of these other nerds.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it comes to nerd flavoring, we are definitely better. All right, so that was the All Things Star Wars podcast. Yeah, well, it's not showing up on Spotify at all, which is disconcerting. So I
don't know what the fuck.
So let's send an email to Libsyn and be like, "Yo, what the fuck?
Yeah,
trying to find us in Spotify and we don't see us."
You're like, yeah, we pay you money every month.
Yeah.
So what the fuck?
I just searched all the things. Nope. All things Star Wars.
Not getting a DUI tonight.
Not getting a DUI. I am a professional.
And Scotch is verified.
No, Jason, y'all are not on Spotify. Yeah, I'm so
Fucking bullshit.
WTF.
Yeah.
We will remedy that.
All
We
right.
will, because I want people to not just be a slave to iTunes, and I think that's probably hurting our numbers overall when people are hearing about us and look for us and they
I
don't
have no
see
doubt.
us.
They go to search for something in fucking Spotify. They type in Star Wars Clone Wars, and normally we'd be like the top hit, but because we're not on there.
Yeah, we need to remedy that before the end of this week.
Goddamn fucking bullshit.
So,
All right. Well, one thing I'll do too is I'll give you the login for Libsyn, and then maybe we can both kind of just like.
yeah, I've got
fucking
a little bit more downtime at work than you do.
clearly, since they're watching Clone Wars in the fucking office. So.
Well, Rick and Morty more often than not. But
Yeah, you understand what I'm saying.
it's on in the background, Jason.
It's exactly like when you and John were in the fucking security office.
And yet I'm still the
Yeah.
best at what I do. Isn't that remarkable? It's funny how that works.
I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear this shit. I'm so fucking done.
All right.
I think it's about time we ended this stream. I've got a couple of things I have to do before. Fuck, it's 8:30. Oh, God damn it. It's like bedtime in 20 minutes. So,
Yeah.
we're going to end the stream now. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and for sticking with us this whole time. You guys are the best, and we love you in a platonic way.
Totally.
Except for Don. I love him. Never mind.
Set.
But
You love him like Harbaugh loves his khakis?
yes, and his extension that's forthcoming.
Yes, please. At this point, yes. Please give him an extension because I want to continue to shit on him in the Big Ten.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes good content for the show, too, so.
Absolutely.
If nothing else, it just gives us more shit to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We're really gone this time, guys. Thanks a lot, you guys.
And gals.
Are the best.
Peace!